Going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick. We're back in Vancouver. I want to figure out how many flights we've been on so far this year.
1 million.
It might be in close to 30, 40, realistically. If I were to exaggerate, I'd say
Since
50.
the beginning of this year?
I think you guys have flown more in the last couple of weeks than I've ever flown in my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. Actually.
You know,
We're used to it.
we're such busy bees.
We are.
We're so busy, you know?
Do you want to tell us about what are you so busy
Yeah,
doing?
what are you guys
Oh my God.
doing?
Wait, thank you for asking. First of all, that's so nice. We can't tell you. So yeah,
Well-
we actually can't tell you, but soon you'll find out.
Yeah.
Holy fucking airball.
Holy fucking airball.
Well, we have a fantastic episode lined up for you. The incredible Candice King is with us later this episode. You know her from Vampire Diaries. She's on a new hit show. Came out yesterday on Amazon Prime. We Were Liars. If you're anything like us, if you like a show about rich, out-of-touch family with secrets where maybe there's killing or murder or scandalous.
On a
this
beach.
show, on a beach.
On a beach.
This show is definitely for you. So Candice is with us later. You will love that conversation. Also, we have Charlie with us. Super excited to have Charlie. Sad that he is going, but happy that he is talking with us. Hopefully, he will reveal all the secrets of all the things that went down and what many are calling one of the most dramatic episodes of reality TV ever. Which may be
Okay, Jesse Palmer.
I mean, just like I'm just saying, a lot of people were into it. You know, we were on the edge of our seats. It was dramatic. You know, it was good.
It was heartbreaking.
I'm over it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Moves on quick.
How quickly?
Yeah, I mean, you can't live and die by these episodes. There's how many? There's like 30 or something. I don't know. Like, it's fine. Later this episode, we will dive into Love Island. We have Charlie with us. Excited to talk to him. And then after Charlie, we will break down your past 2 episodes since the recoupling of Love Island. Well, I'm sure a lot of you are tuning in for Charlie, and welcome. This is the Viall Files. We're here all week long. This is Reality Recap. We also have our Going Deepers, our long form interviews that get to know your favorite reality TV stars or other public figures or celebrities. Also, if you are watching Love Island and you see a lot of behavior that reminds you of past relationships or things like that, chances are Ask Nick is for you. Anyways, tell your friends we are going to be your Love Island destination all season long. So join us, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Welcome to the show. Huda is still with us. I'm honestly mixed feelings, but I'm glad she's still here. Like, her being kicked off would have been epic, but like, she is like, we are tuned in. We are paying attention to our screens right now because of Huda. We have to recognize that. Like, it's must watch television, and it's all because of Huda.
I'll say Ace is a fake motherfucker.
They all are fake. I'm sorry, but the whole villa is fake.
Really.
They're like talking about Huda behind her back and not to her face. Sorry.
We will break it all down later this episode.
Well, breaking news, everyone. My girl,
Not
Karen
guilty.
Reed. Karen Reed is not guilty. Well, she's guilty with operating a vehicle under the influence.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those, that's like going and getting an STD test and like having slept with like 100 people without a condom and then finding out like you got chlamydia. You're like, I'll take it. Give me a couple pills. No
Okay.
problem. Like,
For sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know.
It's the exact same as that.
like
And
you're like, whatever, I'll take it.
Yeah. They were like, we'll come back for sentencing. And it's like, she'll get a slap on
Probation
the
or
wist.
something,
And,
you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
a fine
guessing
or
no jail
something.
time.
Yeah. But she, after a long, long time,
She has
she's
to
not
move,
guilty.
right? She has to move.
I think the whole town loves her. Like, I think honestly, she's a celebrity in that town. I think like she goes out and her dinner's paid for and her drinks are paid for. And Why
but,
move, you know?
Man, those. If you really think the boss,
I mean, I guess, yeah, if she's like speeding and they pull her over, then
I
it's
don't
like,
know.
will they pull her over and like put a little cocaine in the back seat of her car and then say she was doing drugs? You know?
I would go clean slate. Do you think she gets her job back? No.
No.
She's gonna go on a book.
She's going to
book
be
tour.
influencing.
Yeah, she's gonna be influenced.
Yes.
You know, let's try to get Karen Reed on the show.
Let's try to get her.
All right. Well, congratulations to Karen and all of Karen's fans out there. I feel like
Yes.
this one's for you.
Yes, it is.
All right, moving on. Congratulations to our lady of the week, Kristen Doty, and her man, Luke, had their first child. Round of applause. Very happy for
Her
them.
fiance, Luke.
I
They're
wasn't
engaged.
sure about this. They're engaged. Okay.
Will they get engaged on like what, the next episode of The Valley? I mean,
Yeah, I don't
Next
you know.
episode, yes.
Her man.
Next
Either
episode.
way, still her man. So very happy for them.
Kaya Lily. What a pretty name.
I do love that name.
Lily of the
Kaya?
Valley.
Mm. I only remember names of people in my circle.
No, that's not even true. You don't know your family members'
That's what I-
children's names.
Literally, that's what I'm saying.
You said you only know people in your circle. Your nieces and nephew are in your circle.
Kind. I mean, sure. Yeah. But I mean, like my daughter.
He knows his daughter's name, and that's it. Do you know? Do you
Nick,
know Leia's
Nick, what's
son's
my name?
Louis. I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, that
Big
makes
deal,
me
big
really happy.
deal. What's
that means that we're in your circle.
What's Sierra's daughter's name?
Sarah does not have a daughter.
Okay, good job.
What's her dog's name? What's her dog's
Oh
name?
yeah, what's her dog's name?
No idea. I didn't even know.
Really?
I didn't even know you
Starts
had
with a
one.
B.
Yes, you did.
You don't know that I have a dog?
The little white dog. You know, you've seen.
He's my child.
Literally.
Bailey?
Bailey.
Can't.
Wait,
Done.
you named your dog after?
That's a wild thing to think.
That's a wild thing to think.
I had
I'm
the
gonna
dog before I had Connor.
And I'm going to stop you right there.
That's a wild thing to go for. First jump. Absolutely not.
Listen, I am not a perfect man. I'm
Yes,
just.
you are. Besides the car trunk thing, which is really getting on my nerves. That we've discussed
We're still
ad
going.
nauseum.
It's beginning to start at fights
It is.
because sometimes she'll pack the trunk and it needs an extra push.
For some reason, I'm seeing like Nick thrusting his whole body weight, like trying to get this trunk closed, and it's just not closing.
And then it's like you press the button, it's like, you know, like all it takes is one press of the button and it shuts so nicely.
By the time you get in the car, trunk's closed.
It just goes so slow. It's just. My
Anyways,
God.
but yes, Kristen Doty and Luke, they had their beautiful baby girl. I actually got a text from Kristen last night, and she had reached out before she gave birth. Because you know the theme. I don't know if this is a theme everywhere else. I feel like it's really
not.
only in LA.
And this
because
is why I feel comfortable sharing our critique.
okay.
Because we're talking about privileged people here, the most privileged, right? Like most people, I didn't even know what a night nurse was before I moved to LA.
Night nurse.
You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and
me
for those
neither.
of
I
you who
didn't
don't
till
know,
Lala.
it is someone. It's essentially a babysitter for your newborn, so that mom and dad can get more sleep in the early weeks of childbirth.
So the people who are doing this put like a twin bed or a day bed like in the nursery with the crib, and that's like for the night nurse to sleep in while the baby's asleep, so that if the baby wakes up and the baby's hungry or whatever, like that night nurse can tend to the baby.
And if you live in LA and you are expecting a child and people find out you're pregnant, it was like, again, I've never experienced this. My mom had many children after I was born, so I've experienced with being around pregnant women most of my life. I've never heard this. And then when Nellie was pregnant, I mean, oh my God, it was the most common question was, are you going to get a night nurse? And some people wouldn't even ask.
Mhm.
They would tell you,
have to get
you
the
have
night nurse.
to get a night nurse.
You won't survive.
Oh my God, it's going to be, you must do this. If I can give you any parenting advice ever, it's get a night nurse. We're like, oh my God, do we have to get a night nurse? I mean, they were like, Nana and I were like, let's sit down and talk about this. Like we're certainly lucky enough to be able to afford such a wonderful luxury if that is something, that you're able to do. And then Nally was like, I don't think I want to do it. And then she talked to her sister who was like, thought we were fucking crazy for even like suggesting that. And we got wonderful advice from her sister, Amanda, who was like, listen, your child is only going to be that old that day. It's
That's
like
small
that's
for
small.
that day.
Yeah. It's like
Your child is only going to be that small for that day. And
great
she was
advice.
like, and she also was like, can you imagine like your baby in another room, like days old, your baby in another room wakes up cold, crying, hungry. They're like looking for the person they were just connected to for 9 months, and they're picked up into the cold hands of a stranger. who then like puts a bottle to their mouth or like brings them to you to breastfeed. Like regardless, you're going to wake up because you're connected to that baby. You're going to hear that baby crying. You're going to wake up regardless. Your nipples are going to start leaking because that's exactly what they do when you hear that baby crying. And then like, and what? You're just going to like sit there and be like, I'm going to go back to sleep. Sally Lou's got it. Like it was crazy. So I'm so glad that my sister was like waking me up.
Before I go any further, Leia, did you have a night nurse?
Yes, I did. No, I didn't.
Could you imagine?
I'm sitting here and I'm just like, no, I did not have a night nurse.
But yeah, and then so obviously we didn't, and so we were so grateful that we didn't. I mean, again, we just really enjoyed being parents. We also, yes, we got lucky. Our child River is a special human, and her sleeping was pretty good. We understand that not every child sleeps that well, but I don't think it's not going to change if we're lucky enough to have a second child and that child sleeps.
Yeah, we're not going to get a night nurse for the second child.
I'm just going to say it. I judge people now if they get night nurses. If I find out they have a night nurse, I can't not feel judgment. I just can't. I mean, if I'm going to judge anyone, it's going to be the privileged.
It is just crazy to think that like your
3-week-old baby, 3-day-old baby, and you're just like, and again, like we were lucky enough to have Nally's mom.
It's also like I look back at those times now and I'm so grateful that we didn't, because I remember being so tired and like holding her and just being like smelling her and being happy and like I'm sleeping now, like I'm good. And it's just if I hadn't have been there, I feel like the position I'm in now, I would have regretted it.
I also want to just adjust my judgment and criticism. I have more judgment for the fathers. If you're a single parent, no judgment whatsoever. If I have more judgment for the fathers, because I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there where maybe the dads aren't as helpful in the middle of the night. And
that's true.
I think that makes a world of a difference. But if you are lucky enough to tag team parenting early and like enjoy being a parent. Like
I think your mom said she like was scared to wake up your dad. Like she just wouldn't ever wake up your dad. She just would like, and I think your dad watching you like helped so much. I remember like your parents were in town and you were like washing all the pump parts and putting them back together. And your dad was like, I could have done more. Like he looked at your mom and was like, I really could have done more.
It was
sorry.
the 80s.
Yeah. But anyway, so all of that to say, all the judgment to say, Kristen Doty had texted me a few weeks ago and was like, did y'all have a night nurse?
Because like us, everyone was telling her, you must get a night nurse.
Obviously, we gave her our thoughts and opinions. And she was like, Luke feels the same way. I'm just like scared because everyone's making me feel scared. And I was like, you can always get one. Like if you are in this and you're like, holy fuck, this is too much. I need someone, hire someone the next day. But like go into it as you and Luke together as a team. And she texted me last night and she was like, I'm so grateful I took your advice and we did not get a night nurse. Like I'm loving this. It's really sweet. And she like sent me pictures of her baby and she's gorgeous. And it's just
so happy for our queen, Kristen. She really
Kristen.
I'm just feeling baby.
I actually will say, like sometimes I miss like waking up every couple of hours.
Yes.
Totally. Like the amount of times that Nick and I are like, should we like wake her up? Like, should, you know, like she, like now she sleeps through the night. And like now that's a long time to be away from her. So now we're like, should we?
It's a really long time. Yeah.
Yeah. We had. Yeah.
Do you ever do it?
No, we kidnapped her the other night and brought her into our bed.
We do. We go in there as she's knocked out. Nick brings the Hatch sound machine and we brings her into our room and she cuddles now. She like wraps her arms around you and spoons. It's really sweet.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
And obviously we had Nally's mom. She was very helpful. And, she did like at 6 a.m. early on would take River and we got to like sleep in for like an extra hour, which was very helpful in the morning. But that was definitely different than in the middle of the night. Just like, be like, all right, you got this. I could not imagine just checking out all night long while like some nurse is in the other room rearing your
Do you think
child.
Jax Taylor helped Brittany with
No way.
Cruz when they came home from the hospital?
Okay, all right, like we got Sierra, are you figuring out this wasn't real. This wasn't a real thing, right?
He left on his hour break to go to his house and remove the Post-its over the camera.
Like, come on.
While having his phone with him 24/7 to rage text also FaceTiming, also allowed to go home and check the mail. I'm like, what rehab facility who isn't concerned about somebody relapsing and him being like, I wasn't there for drinking. It was for mental health. I'm Googling. Tell me, like, why none of us were even looking for where Rachel Leviss went to, like, her facility. And for some reason, it was everywhere. Not one person, not one sighting, not one anything sourcing that this man actually attended a rehab facility.
Yeah, and the fact that it was like national news and like, oh, we didn't feel bad or any remorse. We kept criticizing Jax, but like a lot of people are like, oh, it's so serious. Like, oh my God, hearts, thoughts, and prayers to Jax.
Meanwhile, he's just like in an Airbnb.
Guaranteed. Even there's like one where he had like a couch next to him and there was just like some clothes thrown over it. I'm like, I guarantee you this is the not the Airbnb, the condo or whatever that he rented, and he's probably staying there before everything is getting moved in and claiming to be at some rehab facility, because I don't know any protocol that would encourage somebody to have their phone 24/7, let alone to be making contact with their wife or their home.
If we're right, like, how is this even okay from a TV standpoint?
Really?
No idea. But even then, did you watch, like, once he came back and they had this, like, accountability dinner and they were all, like, coming for Danny with his drinking?
That
and
was
fucking
crazy. Jax's dinner turning into
intervention
for Danny. That was crazy.
But not one of these guys are holding him accountable. And also, it's like he's literally showing rage when you said that you just got out of a 30-day facility dealing with your anger.
And he's the worst friend ever. He's just sitting there like excited that Danny is getting heat.
If I were him, I would shut my mouth. I wouldn't be like adding to
Jax
it.
is a psychopath. The apology text that Danny sent they flashed it. What did it say?
It was like, my bad, bro, about last night. It definitely wasn't like, I'm so sorry for the way. I mean, like, also, when they ran it back, he didn't do anything.
He was just sitting there.
He was just like obviously agitated or frustrated with the way that these people keep coming at him and is like defending himself. And the second that he defends himself or gets like activated to another level, they're like, oh my God, Dark Danny, he's crazy. It's
Pantry Danny.
And the fact that they're mad about that situation when they were literally talking about him as if he wasn't sitting there, and then he defends himself and it's like, no, you're blackout. No, man, you're blackout.
Jason, I've had enough of Jason. I think he is the biggest like whack ass bitch that I've ever seen on my television screen. Everything that comes out of his mouth, it's like laughable. It's like, how are you even?
The way that they behave, I feel like Jesse, Jason, not so much Danny, but definitely those two. I kind of feel like they treat Jax like as if Jax is responsible for their job. Like they can't say anything bad about Jax. They're always supporting Jax. And Jax, even when they were at the party and he was fighting with Zach and he was like, it's my show. It's my show. I feel like that's the kind of energy that he is like berated down onto these guys. And they're like, I'll never say a bad word about Jax because I might lose my spot on this show.
That makes him more pathetic. First of all, it can't be true because I just can't imagine Bravo would give Jack that power. I certainly believe that he thinks he has that power. But are these guys either both dumb enough to believe that or just like truly just kind of some of the most pathetic men? I mean, Bravo really...
The second that Jax came on the screen, the amount of like dark cloud energy that entered Nick's phone screen was alarming.
Well, he literally walked into the house. He was like, I'm not going to take anything from my son. Oh, except for the house, because no woman needs a 5-bedroom house, 7-bathroom. Get something that's manageable as a woman. What the fuck
does that even
mean, Jax?
Also him saying like, oh, as soon as I found out about Julian, like I stopped paying the shit. Like, yeah, this house can get foreclosed on. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. And it's like, you don't care about your son.
I hope it goes to foreclosure.
I hope it goes to foreclosure. Yeah. You don't care about your son. The second you got out of rehab, you got your haircut, you got Botox, you went to dinner. Like and Brittany even being like, he's been unblocked. I haven't fucking heard from him. It's just like this man trying to play this, I'm a good father, she's keeping my son from me, like pity party is so unbelievable. Yeah. Like it will never, you don't give a fuck about that boy. And it's so sad that one day he will watch this show back and he will feel that from his own dad.
He's deplorable. Yeah. Speaking of shitty men who don't care about their kids, Jesse, he was atrocious this episode. I just like to leverage your ex-wives, and I don't care how you feel about her, dying mother, and use that as leverage to like stop your daughter from having the last remaining moments of her grandmother and quality time with her. And then in a confessional, act like as if like, oh, no. I mean, like, no, I'm totally fine with her spending as much time, but like, we just need to sit down and talk as parents to teach our daughter about death. I mean, like, just go on the street and like, look at roadkill. I mean, like, whatever. Like, it's not, I don't remember my parents teaching me about like life or death. It probably had something to do. We were a religious family with religion, but like this wasn't like a pivotal moment in my life. And oh, by the way, like the easiest way to teach a young child about like life and death is honestly like through animals and things like that. A Disney story. I mean, like this, how old is their daughter? 4 or 5? Like every parent in a Disney movie dies. Like,
But
they
it's also
know,
like her grandma is sitting in a hospital bed, like.
so if Michelle doesn't want to talk to you, or you're not going to let your daughter see her because like you didn't get to sit down with her and give Jessie Lolly's version of like teaching her child about life or death, like you're a piece of shit. You're an absolute piece of shit. And the fact that this man can go on a TV show and act like he's right about this, well, like to that point, like Natalie said with Jax, it is now documented that like you came in between your daughter and her grandmother in her remaining moments as her grandmother suffered through cancer, and you tried to step in because you wanted to like, you were mad that Michelle doesn't want to talk to you. Like one of the most piece of shit things that you can do. It's fucking crazy.
It's so sad.
That's when you want to assert your dominance. And then he was trying to be like, I had no idea, where she was like, I sent a text saying that my mother is deteriorating. Can I please take my daughter for a week? And you said no. And then as soon as it becomes public knowledge, it's like, oh, I had no idea how bad she was. And it's like, I just don't believe a word that comes out of Jessie's mouth. Everything is for like vengeance and like optics.
No, I mean,
you
these are
remember when
the
Schwartz
worst
came
people.
here and said that we would see a better side to Jessie? I'm just like,
Where?
when? Like, I'm watching him like listen to Jax talking about women this way, talking about Brittany this way, and then he like does nothing.
Well, I just know Michelle's not a fan favorite, and a lot of the ladies who watch this show just are not a fan of her. But like, how do we not see Jessie, and just try to give Michelle the benefit of the doubt? Like, I don't know how you can watch Jessie's behavior and just not have a ton of empathy for her. I mean, again,
I agree.
unlike Brittany, we've seen Michelle pretty much enter the show when episode season 1 and start standing up for herself and saying the way you treat me is not okay. And she got out of a shitty marriage, and she is like fighting for her life. Might be a little dramatic.
Made mistakes along the way, as anyone does. And going through this entire season, having her mom dying on the side. It's like, honestly,
how do we not have more empathy for this woman?
Crazy. And then the people like defending Brittany until the day she dies. And then Brittany this episode being like, oh my God, his voice. Wait, I can't look. I don't want to make eye contact with him. It's like, come on, Britt.
Yeah.
You gotta stop.
In high school.
You're like romanticizing this idea of like how toxic he is and how awful he is to you. Just, I don't understand how this show is so dark, and the people who like are on it's a really hard watch.
I want to see more Kristen and Luke and their love story and their relationship. They clearly have worked hard to make work.
They really have to figure out something else with this show, because I can't do another season of this. It's really bad.
Well, Bravo's giving Jesse Lala more screen time. He is rumored to be on the next season of Love Hotel, along with some of the other men. Yeah, Tom Schwartz.
That's a horrible decision.
Shep
Rose?
The bros.
Wait, so they're doing, instead of it being like Giselle and Shannon,
I don't know. Maybe
instead?
it was some bullshit blog I saw. I don't know. There's a lot of like fake reports in Bravo world. Maybe that's not true. Like a quick Google. It looked pretty legit to me. Oh yeah, and Carl. It was
Carl,
Shep,
Tom, and Shep,
and Jesse.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, Jesse's in a relationship with that girl in the Orange County.
He would break up with her for TV.
He would totally break up with her for TV.
Not wrong.
I mean, the other 3 are fine. I mean, like Shep is Shep, but like Shep might be like a man child, but he's not. I don't think he's a piece of shit. He seems like an all right guy.
Was anyone else confused as to why Jesse's life coach was at Zach's boyfriend's party?
Because he's not an actual life coach. He's just Jesse's friend.
He just wants a credit. He just wants to be seen.
Whoever's writing his Chiron is probably like,
Also, the temper tantrum for the petulant child, Jax, hearing that there's a party happening at Jesse's house and then inviting himself to Zach's. I don't care. It's your house. I don't care whose party it is
That
or
was
why.
such a
And it's just
scene.
like,
And then Jesse looked like such a
Yeah.
bitch. Like, kind of like Jesse looks, it's just the way the loser Jax emasculates these men is kind of hysterical, but
Yeah.
like just pathetic. It's just pathetic.
they're all weak.
Can we talk about Frank Drebin?
I forgot about that. He's a legend.
Remind
Such a
me
legend.
who Frank Drebin.
Frank Drebin is Jax's burner account. And here are some of the things that he has said from that burner account. He's a legend, talking about Jax, but this is Frank speaking.
How did we figure out?
Brittany figured it out.
In
Yeah.
he
You were asleep.
accidentally DM'd Brittany from that account being like, please pick up, why won't you answer me? And she was like, this idiot fucking DM'd me from the burner account. So it confirms it.
He's at 30 days equals 4 weeks. Maybe you need rehab, doll. Called clickbait, honey. Not a fan of that new girl. She looks thirsty to be on TV. 30 days is more than a week. People literally separate every day. Reality stars are no different, spelled Know.
Is he
What's your
fighting
point?
with the trolls in the comments?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. As
Defending himself.
defending himself as Frank Drebin. It's probably one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen.
How is this?
He's a legend, commenting under his own photo. It's so
This is
bad.
like, and honestly, like this is like maybe maybe this is the type of program I'm gonna someday show my kids. Be like, your life could turn out like this. You could be a loser. Like you.
Wait,
This is a cautionary tale.
Jax is taking legal advice from Tom Schwartz. That was crazy.
Yeah, Tom Schwartz
Or
like
when he
breaking
gets
down his
served.
divorce papers for him. Like,
That's best case, man. Sign that right away.
He's like, said sign it, and then he goes, well, the whole custody part. And he's like, what did it say about custody? He's like, well, maybe you should overlook this page.
and then he's like, I
"Should
don't
just
know.
sign it?" And
He says, I don't know what full custody. What was the
custody
line?
mean?
I don't know what
I
full
think
custody
that
really
was
means.
just kind
No.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he's like, I don't really know what full custody means. And it
Maybe-
was just like,
Maybe Tom Schwartz is like a secret hero. I mean, if Tom Schwartz is, because Tom Schwartz is not stupid, and if he's really telling Jax to sign a document that takes away Jax's right to like have custody of his child and trying to like get Jax to sign it, is kind of genius.
no, I think he was saying before the custody conversation, it was because Brittany said that like she was going to do the divorce without having to go to court. And so that's why Tom was like, this is like a godsend. This is a
Yeah.
gift. You should sign this. And then they hit the custody clause.
and he was like, actually,
maybe you should overlook
it's all
this.
good except for this little part here.
I mean, Jax saying, I'm a great father, but a terrible husband is like,
It's not.
No,
then you're not a great
not.
father. I mean, you know,
Then you're not.
then you're not
Yeah,
a great father.
agreed.
literally.
You can still be like,
it's literally-
maybe an okay father, but if you can admit that you're a shitty husband, yeah, this by default you can't
it's literally it starts off, this episode literally starts off with him, I'm a great father, terrible husband. No, you're not. You walk into a house, you say, I'm not going to take anything from my kid except for maybe the house itself.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, to get back at Brittany, it's like these two things are the same.
Yeah.
Like you
And then him being upset that nobody visited him. And it's just like, well, it sounded like Brittany was planning
It's
on
because
visiting
you
and
didn't
your
want to give
behavior
them the
didn't change.
address to your Airbnb.
because
That's why. That's why no one came to visit you, because it wasn't
nobody
a real
could visit
facility.
you because it didn't exist.
And honestly,
That
I don't
part.
believe Jason when he's like, I went in and I talked to someone at a front desk. You talked
Yeah.
to the receptionist of an apartment complex, sir. I'm like,
The leasing manager.
literally the leasing manager, the landlord.
Jason needs to. Jason needs
He's like,
to.
I was wondering why they were telling me about all the rules and regulations and rent costs. I was wondering, but I just figured, you know.
They said this room comes with gas. I didn't understand why.
If Jason ever does an interview, because I doubt Jason will come on this show. He needs to be asked about the therapy that he is lying about.
Yeah.
I want the name.
I mean, it was
I
an
need it.
AI
Name 'em.
call who called him originally to tell him about the 30,000. That was like his buddy, you know, like that was not a real facility. Remember, it was like, what up, bruh? It was like,
I will never get that call out of my head because he literally said, I don't know, we just think that like a 30-day stay would be a lot more effective than 2 separate 15-day stays. Huh?
huh? How are you going to
What
tell
do you
me what I
mean?
need for my care?
Why are you breaking up a 30-day? Like 30 days is like the minimum that you do for a rehab. What do you mean you're going to
why
break
is
it
he
up in
selling
15
it
days?
like
No.
a vacation package?
Yeah.
Go now, pay later.
It's giving like Army Hammer in the
Cayman Islands.
Cayman Islands doing like, yeah.
What are those still a thing? What do they call them when the vacation homes you would like
Timeshares?
Timeshares.
Yeah.
Timeshares. It sounded like a timeshare. Is that still a thing?
That's what Army Hammer was doing in the Cayman Islands, was selling
Timeshares.
timeshares. Yeah.
Timeshares.
Literally.
Wow.
My grandparents still can't get out of their timeshares.
Oh my God.
You're locked in.
I mean, speaking of Jax Taylor, he was on Watch What Happens Live. What was it, last night, 2 nights ago? I don't know, recently. He had his chaperone, Tom Schwartz.
I'm honestly so shocked that they're still allowing him to like have a platform and like be on. I mean,
I really gotta. You know what? I was gonna say I gotta ask Tom about this, but I know the answer Tom's gonna give me. It's just like you should get to know him. Like he's not that bad of a guy. It's just like that's what he's gonna say.
Everyone deserves a second chance, even though it's like his like second chance times 1,000.
Well, Jax was like, well, I watched all the episodes, and then I thought it was really interesting. Like Andy was like, and this is like a first for you. Like he really wanted the audience to know that Jax Taylor has never watched his work before. And now that he has watched it, we were supposed to feel a certain way about that.
I'm also gonna be so for real. This man is so obsessed with himself that there's no fucking way he hasn't sat down and watched himself on television. I mean, like all of his likes on TikTok are public knowledge and they're all videos of himself. Like he is just on his TikTok liking himself. He has his fake profile that he like compliments himself on. There's no way he's not watching himself on television.
Oh my God, I saw a video that somebody posted where she was like, she saw all of Jax's like liked videos, like the videos that he liked from his account, and he was liking his own TikTok.
Yes. I went and looked. He does. Everything that he likes is about him.
This is not me defending Jax at all. But, when Instagram first came out, this also is giving like old millennial, where I feel like at first a lot of like people thought like if you liked your content, it would help with engagement or something like that, where like every time you just post something, you immediately like it.
No, it's like someone said to Jax, oh yeah, you can't see people's likes on TikTok. And then he didn't realize that he didn't have that setting enabled on his TikTok settings. And he has just been liking what he wants to like.
There was definitely like a brief moment early in Instagram where I think I would post something and like my post.
I feel like that was your experience. and
I just we're gonna flame Jax Taylor. And some troll is gonna be like, "Well, here's 20 Instagrams of Nick liking his shirtless selfies."
Let's give Jax the benefit of the doubt for a second.
For my experience, it was like embarrassing to like your own photo.
Yeah, I definitely stopped years ago. You have to go deep.
No. I know. I'm just saying, like that's just funny, and
Well, what's also is embarrassing, and God bless you, internet. The after show, Jax Taylor is wearing like lift shoes to make himself taller.
Can we just talk about the fact that like the man for sure is over 6 foot? The idea that you could be insecure that somebody would mistake you for short, that you need to wear lifts in your shoes. Like I'm just saying, like from top to bottom, insecure
you'd be surprised how many men in reality TV who are not even tall. Like I'm not even gonna name names, but it is embarrassing how many guys are wearing shoes like that. And honestly, if you want a little lift, a natural lift, wear boots. Like, like boots will make you look a little taller than I guess the average sneaker will, if you really need to feel that way.
You don't want to wear a platform?
There have been guys that in Bachelor Nation that if you really want to figure it out, it's not that hard. Go look at old photos. They'll be like 3 inches taller than all the other guys in some photos. And then there's like ones where you're all at the beach and you're not wearing shoes. And then he's like the same height as the other guys. It's like, what's going on?
But also Jax Taylor was sitting down for his interviews for the after show and you're still wearing them. So it's like, he's really committed to the bit where he's like, I have to walk in to this establishment and be as tall as I have been.
Anyway, he gave his it's like, he didn't go to therapy or rehab or whatever. He maybe went to a practice bullshit apology seminar.
No, because he's been doing that same apology for the last.
No one deserves to be treated that way. I finally watched it. There's no one. I'm just so sorry. I'm so
sorry that that's what was shown. Wasn't that his response? Like,
essentially,
it was like he literally said, "I'm so sorry for what was shown." not I'm so sorry for what I did, how I treated people, but like what the producers chose to like put in the edit, and like y'all had to see that. Like, so sorry that was what was shown.
Do you think Tom Schwartz was there simply because no one else would sit next to Jax Taylor?
Yes.
Probably. And like a security blanket, because they're doing all of their stuff together and they're next door neighbors.
I will say though, in this episode, whenever Jax Taylor was like, we're moving in together. Like, he was like, no, we're not moving in together. Like, you're not living with me, bro. Like, he wanted it very clear that like they were not going to be roommates.
And I'm also like, who told him that there was a vacancy in their apartment building or in their condo? Like, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, Jax being like, I just really love the whole like frat guy, like living next to, and I'm like, that's crazy at 50.
Anyways, more of the same. Eventually you just got to stop talking about him. Because
they're shoving him down our throats.
I know.
They need to take him off television. He's a dangerous person. Like the way that this man is able to go on that screen and like not give a fuck about his son, about his family, about like literally anyone. And we've heard the same shit over and over again. And like Andy Cohen sitting there, like not challenging him, not being like, when he was like, oh yeah, you wanted your house to be, you didn't pay the mortgage. He's like, yeah, dude, that was when I was deep in drugs and alcohol. It's like, no, when you got out of rehab, you stood in that kitchen and you told Jesse, like, yeah, I wanted to take that house from her. Like that was not when you were high on drugs. This is how you think. It's dangerous.
This is fresh out of rehab.
Yeah.
Truly.
No, I agree with you. I'll sign whatever, get him off television. Thank you.
Anyways, next gen. I mean, listen, it's still early. I will say, speaking of the Marks family, quirky, but like, he seems like a good dad.
Seth really tried.
I don't know if I'm ever going to sit down with someone my kids go on a date with and just fret out and be like, so is this a body count situation?
It could be, or maybe more.
Yeah,
and then him being like, so your dad doesn't say he's proud of you. Well, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. One thing I'll say that I've heard, and I think it's true, but as far as being a parent goes, like showing up is like 95% of it. There's no like, everyone has a different style of parenting, and where parents will make mistakes, and you might give advice that maybe you regret, but like just being there and expressing love and affection to your kids is really probably 99% of it, and the Marks parents really seem like they show up for their kids, and the kids seem better for it. So that's good. It's in watching these Bravo shows, there's so much like just horrible behavior and toxic family dynamics that like when you see the Marks family like show up and be there for their kids, it's nice to see. I'm glad we got to see a little bit of that.
No, so true.
I just like, why are we still fighting about like Charlie and Chloe? It's like, come on, give us something new. It's really not that big of a deal. We're 3 episodes in, we got to have something else.
I'm just like not the biggest fan of Charlie in general. I just feel like
he is a guy all of us have fucking dated who sucks.
Yeah. And it's like, and it really is because like daddy didn't hug you, and it's like, so now you just like take it out on everyone else.
Yeah. And his mom is like the cliche, like, not absent mom who's dating a new guy all the time, shows up and like says, literally says to you, your mom dated my best friend who had a huge cock. And it's just like that was Charlie's childhood. Anyways, we'll see. Next gen, it's still early. I do love the New York vibe. They released the cast of the Golden Cast for Bachelor in Paradise. And I don't know. I'm rooting for the show. I hope it's good. But this whole like, I did not sign up for. I also am worried that like the Golden franchise is potentially like ruining their brand. Like what made the Golden Bachelor and Bachelorette so like charming is the nostalgia of like these people at very late, late 60s, early 70s, having grandparents, people, widows and widowers, like just talking about enjoying life. I just don't know if I want like Bachelor in Paradise is messy. It's the closest thing we have to like a Love Island. It's toxicity. I want drama. I want the silliness. I don't know. I don't need a mashup. I don't want broken hip jokes. I don't.
It's like you didn't sign up for it, and neither did the young kids in Jesse Palmer's world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sign up for it either.
I don't know. We're gonna watch it. We're giving it a shot, but I'm worried.
Scared.
Should we go through? Should
No.
we go through who they are?
It's everything you would expect. It's all the Golden people that ABC has been parading around and at every Dancing with the Stars event.
Yeah.
I was going to say politely forcing it down our throats.
Yeah. So if you've seen them at events, they're also going to be at Paradise.
At Bachelor in Paradise.
Well, I don't know if Paradise is going to be any good, but we did have our queen, Taylor Frankie Paul,
who posted a little bachelorette, what do you want to call it?
audition tape,
which was brilliant. And I'm assuming she was just having some fun. But I've thought about this. They haven't picked up the Bachelorette. They haven't picked up the Bachelor. And from my understanding is that, again, to remind people, Warner Brothers owns the Bachelor entity. They're the ones who produce it. ABC/Hulu/Disney. They're the platform that airs it. So both have power. Ultimately, it was Hulu/ABC's decision not to pick it up. So like that's its home. And they are waiting for Warner Brothers to essentially get their shit together and say, give us something worthy of putting on our platform, because like we're booked and busy. You know, we got Mormon Wives crushing. We got a lot of good content out there. Give us something worthy, right? So to do that, they need to cast good leads. They need to cast stars. No offense to our previous 2 leads, lovely people. They lacked the star power. They didn't have assistance from the franchise. You know, everything about it just did not work out. So if they're going to bring the Bachelor back, if they're going to bring the Bachelorette back, they need star power. They need people excited about whoever their leads are. And if they're going to get people excited, Taylor Frankie Paul would be she would be a franchise-saving cast.
More than that.
I don't know if they could afford her. Again, because it would be Warner Brothers who pays her, not Hulu. That's the complicated part, is that like Warner Brothers still has a lot of control and power over like what gets done over at their franchise. They're the ones who sign the checks of their leads, right? So that being said, I do know that Rob over at Hulu really likes synergy, right? Like that's why you have the crossover with Vanderpump Villa and The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like they want to have synergy within their kind of universe. So it would make a lot of sense to have
viewers
Taylor
love it too.
Be the Bachelorette. It would be awesome. I mean, oh my God. And just to have the crossover, you would have some of the Mormon wives, you know, stop bringing in old Bachelor contestants. You could bring in the Mormon wives, you know, like to give her feedback and counsel. It would be such an amazing crossover. And like, who knows, it might work out. It would, oh my God, it would crush.
Do way better than Vanderpump Villa.
Oh my God, it would just be epic. Like if the Warner Brothers knew what they were doing, I would pay her $250,000 to be the Bachelorette.
Facts. Dude, they literally
It would save the franchise.
They literally bamboozled me into watching Vanderpump Villa because of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like, so I'm just like, imagine what that would do for Bachelorette.
Oh yes. God, it would be so. Taylor was made to be the Bachelorette. I mean, everything that franchise wants in their Bachelorette, Taylor has it.
Yes.
Everything and more.
Exactly.
Yes.
And like, I just remember like old Disney days when they would do like crossover episodes with like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Hannah Montana. They used to do all those crossover episodes and like, it was so fun. And I love when networks do that, where they cross over all of their different cast on the different shows. Like, it would just be so good.
Like, imagine how many like iconic Hannah Brown moments we would get from Taylor, right? And like, you know, we love a Bachelorette who knows how to push back, but like it has to be authentic, right? We've seen too many Bachelorettes try to like recreate their Hannah Brown moment in an inauthentic way. Like, can you imagine Taylor would be like, I'm speaking? All right, now go. Like, it would just be, it would just be so good. It would be so amazing.
And they would be actually able to cast men who would like, who know about her, right? Like they know she has 3 kids. They know that she like can be messy. They know her. So they would cast men who want to be in that relationship and who want to like, I don't know. I think it would do a lot. Yeah, it would do a lot better because the men would know what they're getting into. They would sign up to be with Taylor.
It would be, I don't think it's such a no-brainer.
At this point, they need to make a big decision like that to save the franchise.
Absolutely.
Like, they just need to.
I don't know what they would do for a Bachelor. I mean, I don't know if that perfect person's out there. The person I have in my head, I don't know if he would do it, but they're a little bit of synergy. Danny Amendola.
Oh.
Former football player, super hot.
I think he has a little bit of a bad track record with like Olivia Culpo.
He just has ex-girlfriends.
Maybe.
All I know is he can do backflips.
No. He can't do backflips.
I don't think he would do it, but that would get the people excited.
Yeah.
They need someone there's no one in the franchise The only person who could possibly do it is Tyler, who is not available, who has a girlfriend. By the way, go listen to that Going Deeper episode out yesterday. His lovely girlfriend,
Hey.
Tate Madden, talk about their new relationship. So be sure to definitely check that out. But like, if he were single, he would be the one person from the Bachelor franchise that people would get excited about. That there's no one else that would actually get people excited to watch. So like, they're going to have to go outside of the franchise, but they need to pick someone who's not a nobody. Like, it needs to be someone who like people are aware of, some kind of star power, some kind of pull, you know, and he needs to be hot. He needs to be super hot, and women need to want to be in his orbit. Up next, we got Charlie from Love Island. Cannot wait to hear all the things that he is going to reveal. And then after Charlie, we will break down the last 2 episodes of Love Island. A lot to cover. And then don't go anywhere after that. We have Candice King from the new hit show We Were Liars. You know her as Caroline Forbes from Vampire Diaries, and she's in a new amazing show that, again, if you love a rich, out-of-touch family who, like, you know, does shady things on a beach, this show is for you. It's out now on Amazon Prime. All right, the moment many of you have been waiting for. It is time for Charlie.
Well, if there's one thing about me, I love a staple. I love a staple. I love a classic. I love a good quality everyday piece that I will wear to the end of time. And I get all of those pieces from Quince. They have an unbelievable collection of honestly just really great stuff. Their linen collection is one of my favorites. It's summer, it's hot, we're sweaty. Like, we all need a nice pair of linen pants. Like, our man needs a linen top, you know, like, we need to invest in linen, and Quince has linen.
Also, they just have some really great looking pieces that, like, you know, as guys, we like to look nice, but we don't want to look like we're trying too hard. We don't need anything too elaborate, anything too fancy. We just want it to fit nice, feel good, and not break the bank. And that is exactly what Quince offers you. A great selection of unique pieces that are made with quality, love, look great. Their European linen feels so good. Their silk polos are wonderful. Everything they have is top notch, and you need to check it out right now.
And the best part, everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices in premium fabrics and finishes. So stick to staples that last with elevated essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/VIALL for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/VIALL to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/VIALL. Summer is full of big moments, weddings, vacations, and endless photos. But if you're dealing with hair thinning or shedding, showing up and being present in those moments might feel tough. Nutrafol takes a whole body approach to hair growth, working from the inside out. So the sooner you start, the sooner you'll be feeling confident and focusing on what matters most to you. You may have heard of Nutrafol's hair growth supplements and wonder, do they actually work? And it's a fair question. Many supplements overpromise and underdeliver, but Nutrafol is different. It's the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. It's trusted by over 1.5 million people and is clinically tested to deliver real results in just 3 to 6 months. I've taken Nutrafol for years. My hair, honestly, I just posted a side-by-side because I love Nutrafol so much. I'm talking about it on my social media as well. And I just posted a side-by-side, and like, my hair was so thin and so unhealthy before. And now, I mean, I also just did a chop at the end of last year, and it's so long, it's so healthy. I credit it all to Nutrafol. I also took the postpartum supplement that Nutrafol offers for postpartum hair thinning, and let me tell you, I survived that because of Nutrafol. I have put so many people on it. Nick's mom's taking it. My mom's taking it.
Your shower drain will thank you. No more hair art on the shower.
This summer, stop worrying about your hair and start making memories. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code VIALL. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code VIALL, Nutrafol.com, promo code VIALL.
There he is. Charlie, welcome to the Viall Files. It's so great to have you, man. I'm sad to see you go. You were my absolute favorite.
Thank you so much, mate. I appreciate that, honestly.
Yeah, I so many questions, but like, first and foremost, how's your heart? How are you feeling? Have you like recovered from the sadness of being dumped, or you're still mourning it?
Dude, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's really has been, this itself now is a different journey of like processing the emotions. It's raw. It's real, mate. You know what I mean? The way in which it happened was brutal. You saw, we had the conversation for those last 2 days. I was competing for this girl. I felt like I was losing her. There was the ups, there was the downs. And then we had this beautiful moment where, we're looking at each other and we think, okay, this is it. This is the typical Love Island journey where someone had their head turned, but they realized actually what I've got is something I like. And we were like, okay, then it's me and you versus the world. Let's do this, whatever comes our way. I really thought we were about to embark on a proper journey. And then to have it just ripped apart by like force of nature, man, is brutal. And yeah, it hurts, mate. Like, the fact that I'm sitting here and by technicality, she's continuing with the very guy that I was competing against. It's hard, mate. It's hard.
Yeah.
Who do you blame for your departure, Austin or Amaya?
Okay, you know what? I think Austin was just voting from a perspective of, I think Austin was voting for what people should be voting, who you think had the weakest connection, and that's what he went with. I don't blame Austin. Amaya's disappointed me big time, and I'll tell you why, because Amaya, me and Hannah had actually like comforted Amaya so much. Amaya had cried in front of me. I'd looked after her. I'd given her I told her, just wait, you will find someone, I'd been there for her. I'd check in on her. And she knows my connection with Hannah. She often joked that me and Hannah were like her parents because we were always looking there for her. So I was confused because not only did she say in that conversation I had with her that, Hannah's her closest friend, but also she also saw from what I saw in the conversation now that she understood that what I did was out of confusion and impulsiveness. She understood that aspect. So when she stood up, I thought, wow, is she going to what's going to happen? And she voted me, and I'm still confused and really disappointed by that vote, man, because I just feel like I was robbed, man, of a real journey. And it hurts that me and Hannah didn't get to see each other grow, but the world as well,
Yeah, no, it was a real bummer. And I don't think anyone faulted you for even your conversation with Amaya, just because it is Love Island, and it's not like you pressed her hard or you acted all weird. You were the only guy, at least that we got to see, who acknowledged that the ick, right? Like, so many people joke about the ick and things like that. I loved your self-awareness early in the season where you're like, I don't know, maybe I gave the girls the ick. And usually when guys are that self-aware, they're not actually doing it. But you were just like, hey, listen, Hannah, she's exploring, maybe I should explore. And it just kind of felt like I don't know, maybe she just got too uncomfortable with the closeness. I don't know, but it definitely felt like an overreaction. And to your point, it seemed like a surprise because she was the one who talked you off the ledge. She came as a friend, and then the vote almost felt like vindictive in a weird way. It was messed up.
100%, man. 100%. Let's be real. I didn't want to pull her for a chat. I felt like I had to. I felt I was in a situation where the girl that I'm coupled up with, that, I'm building these feelings for, she'd just gone for another chat with Pepe. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do? Is this not part of Love? I've got to at least try, So the thing is, the key word is I felt I had to, not I wanted to. And you saw the energy in that. Like you say, it wasn't like I pressed her hard. I was just seeing. And it's a shame that's what backfired. And, the truth is I really didn't want to explore anyone else but Hannah. So
yeah.
Have you had the opportunity to watch everything back and then also watch what has happened since you left?
So I've watched all my journey back, and I'll be honest with you, I don't want to see. I saw a bit of the episode where the day after they got to go on a date. And look, I'm going to be real. Part of me feels like it should have been me there. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to watch. So I haven't really been watching the new episodes like that. And if I do, I just skip anything that I can see from I just go. I saw that Jalen went last night, and I've just heard about Austin's with Amaya now. Good for Austin. I think that guy's so real. He's so authentic. Whatever he does, I'll support it,
I was kind of shocked because come in, I think you're a handsome guy. You got a great sexy accent, especially the Americans. The ladies tell me they dig an accent. But I was a bit surprised because it seemed like early on, for whatever reason, you were having a hard time making connections with any of the women. And I was just kind of thinking, like, what am I not seeing about this Charlie guy?
Nick
that-
was like, does his breath stink?
Like, what
is he
is-
short?
like,
Like, what's wrong?
What's going on? But I really appreciated, especially with Hannah, which makes it all that more disappointing because it seemed like you were just like, you really seemed open to trying to making authentic connections. And that seemed like you were like not trying to force anything. And I think you're seeing some things online, some criticism with your castmates, that there seems to be a little bit of gamesmanship going on and almost a little bit of strategizing. Did you get any sense of that while you were there in the villa?
You know what? I'll be straight up and honest. No one ever mentioned talking about finals or anything like that. But I think the first time I felt like, okay, maybe this tactical voting or just saving friends was that night where I got voted out. But you are right, mate. In the beginning, it was a struggle. The only girl I really had a kind of moments with was Shelley. But other than that, there was just no spark. And the thing is with me, mate, I can't force a spark, I can't do that. And again, why I think I'm like a good Love Island specimen, is because I do just follow my heart, mate, and go with where it is. And if that means I make stupid decisions out of impulsivity and confusion, I'm going to do that. But I'm also going to follow it in the way that it's saying. And maybe that's a downfall. But like, that's why I was so like into Hannah when she first appeared. She was right up my street. I was really attracted to her. And energy wise, we connected, man. So that's what was missing from the earlier girls. I just didn't have the energy and the maybe necessary first attraction there.
Something we saw the past couple episode is Austin, your boy, kind of calling out the rest of the guys is like kind of followers of Ace, as if like Ace is kind of like a ringleader with the guys, and a lot of the other guys is just kind of following what Ace has to say. And then I know you and Austin were kind of boys. Did you sense any of that? And then there's some speculation out there like Ace and Shelley knew each other even more than they led on. Like, I guess apparently there's a video of like Ace wishing Shelley like a happy Valentine's Day.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
There's so nothing verified, don't really know, but it's like when you're watching it, it really feels like Ace and Shelley are kind of playing us, like, and then when he pulled Amaya, excuse me.
I did the same thing. I got a name wrong in a challenge as well.
When he pulled Amaya, and then immediately was like, "Yeah, I don't touch you, don't look at me. We're not gonna." It's just like, whoa, like what? I don't know, man. What's going on?
No, so originally I did think there was a bit of a cat and mouse game between them, and my early days I was stuck in between that Ace and Shelley situation, and I always just felt like, why aren't they just going together and doing it, like, seeing what's going on. There was that. In terms of ringleader, I don't necessarily think the guys are following Ace or anything. I just think I think that night they all wanted to vote Huda. Me and Austin were doing our own thing. I know I was, I literally just, I was just following what I thought. But yeah, definitely I was surprised he didn't pick Shelley in the coupling up. But now they're together. Now let's see if it works. But that's really interesting. But yeah, at first I thought it's interesting. Is there a bit of a cat and mouse game between them? What's going on? But, I think he's just going about it in a way where he's big on the exploring thing, isn't he? So, but I wouldn't know about ringleader. I don't know about that.
Cool.
What is your opinion on Jeremiah and Huda's relationship?
So I always said and felt that I feel like the downfall of Huda and Jeremiah would be Huda and Jeremiah, yeah? I didn't think it would be a bombshell walking in. I didn't think it would be anything like that. I just felt it would be the pressure that they created for themselves would eventually implode. And I think there was things that were going on later on where she was like getting at him for like stupid things, like the pancake thing, for example. Like the guy was up every morning making breakfast. One day he doesn't make a pancake for her and she gets onto him about it. No one wants to deal with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like, maybe I think maybe it's run its course. I think Jeremiah now is in a position where he's going to be looking into the girls, and I think he's now going to be in the process of the real Love Island journey now.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get with another girl. Maybe he will go back to Huda. Who knows? But like I said, I never thought it would be a bombshell that would break them up. I just thought it would be like themselves.
Yeah, definitely a good call. It seemed like, I think America was shocked that they voted to keep Huda. It really felt like, kind of like Ace was saying, it's just like, listen, Nothing against either of them. It was just that they coupled up and got closed off so fast. They wanted them to explore. And it seemed like now that Jeremiah decided to like say, you know what, enough's enough. I'm going to go with Iris. This is too toxic, too fast. It seemed like them saving Huda was them saying, listen, it's nothing against you, but we're going to give you a second chance because now that like Jeremiah's moved on, we want you to be more open if a new bombshell comes in. Do you think Huda has the maturity to take advantage of this grace that the cast gave her and seize this opportunity? Or do you think she's going to still be centered on and focused on Jeremiah and kind of keep the drama going?
Wow. Okay. So I'm definitely gonna watch that more now that I know that what's happened. But I feel as though she's kind of got to, right? Again, like you can't look. She's obviously gonna still want Jeremiah. I think she's definitely still gonna want Jeremiah. And Jeremiah's a catch, mate. Good looking dude. Good etiquette. But I mean, what's she going to do? She just going to sit? She could sit there and try and get him back, and it could end disastrously. Like, do you know what I mean? But I'm not too sure, man. Maybe we'll see. Maybe she won't give up on him, and maybe it will create more drama. But like I say, I've been. I saw that Jalen went last night, but I didn't see all the bits. So
You got to catch up. It's craziness.
She's
really?
You got to catch up.
She's a passionate one, that Huda,
Yeah, mate, no, 100%. But will it go in her favor? I don't know about that.
Did you realize that there was a movement for you for everyone to DM Love Island on Instagram and have them either bring you for Casa Amor or bring you back at some point?
Wow.
Is there a part of you that would do that? Or are you like, I think my time's done?
Mate, send me back in. Let's see if mate, no, I'm sick. Like I was robbed. Listen, if she had picked Pepe in a decision, hands up, I'll take it. You know what, mate? She chose you. That's a typical Love Island dumping. Not the way I went out, man.
Yeah.
I went out, the world saw that she chose me. Yeah. She wanted me. She wanted to continue this journey with me. So let's see if they continue, right? If they get through Casa or if they don't. Send me back in after or in it, yeah? And let's see, mate. Let's see if her head's back and turn back to Charlie. Do you know what I mean? Because I think there's some unfinished business there. I've definitely got unfinished business, and I feel like I definitely deserve redemption.
Charlie, if they don't send you back in, I'm all for it. Like I said, you've been my favorite, but I'm sure the world would love to know a little bit more about you. I'd love to know, how did you end up on Love Island USA? Being a boy from the UK, Love Island obviously got its birth and its popularity in UK. How did you end up here rather than on that show?
Right then, mate, I'll tell you. So it's actually a mad story. So basically last year I had a holiday romance with an American girl from Los Angeles. And while I was with her, she kept telling me about, because, the UK birthed Love Island. She was like, have you seen Love Island USA this year? It's like really popping off. And I was like, oh, no, not really, But she showed me bits while we're together. And I really was into this girl. And when she had to go back to America and I couldn't really join her, I was really down bad about it, man. I was gutted. It was like, devastated about it. And while I was trying to get over her and we lost after we basically called it a day and was like, this is not good anymore to speak, I was like, do you know what? This isn't going to be the last time she sees me, And I know that sounds bad. So I thought I'm going to apply for Love Island season 7, right? Because I want a chance, yeah? And as the time went on and I genuinely was getting over her and, it wasn't more about her seeing me or anything like that. It was more about, I want a chance to meet somebody as well, because what had happened with her made me realize I'm ready, and it just kept going on. And I was like, what's going on? I'm moving down this process. They like me. Like this is actually happening. And then, before you know it, months have gone by, like half a year. And, I started this process in November. So then I moved to Australia. I was getting in shape and I was just getting a tan just in case this was going to happen. And it happened, mate. And all of a sudden, this lad from Birmingham, this random ass city from England, is going on Love Island USA. And I'm thinking, what am I doing here, mate?
Have you gotten a call from your ex?
Well, she's not my ex, and I haven't had my phone, and I haven't had my phone, and I don't want it to seem she didn't do anything bad. She didn't do anything bad or anything like that. It was just a situation where it couldn't have worked anyway. But it was her that showed me Love Island USA, and I was like, I'm going to try it out, and And yeah, I manifested it, man, and it happened. And you know, at times I'd look around and I'm with all these American people who are just like characters out of a movie, so animated. And I'm like, but they probably thought the same about me. I'd say random things that they'd find hilarious that is just normal to me because I think my accent would just crack them up.
Yeah.
Or I'd say things that they didn't understand. Like they like when I say proper, like apparently that's a funny thing. Apparently you guys don't say it. I was, oh, it's proper cool, that, isn't it? Like, but yeah, so that's how I ended up. So the irony, the madness of it is at the time when I was gutted about it, like, oh, I'm gutted, you know, I can't be with this girl. That had to happen for a reason, because if it didn't happen, I would not be sitting here speaking to you lovely people, and it's crazy, and we're here, and I've been on a journey, and now I've got to get over Hannah.
Well, I mean, listen, who knows? Obviously, there's a lot of Love Island left, and you know there was a similar situation last season with Rob and
Andrea.
Yeah, and like she was definitely planning on waiting for him, and who knows what can happen. But if Hannah comes out single, are you gonna hit her up and see if there's still something there?
Look, if Hannah comes out single and we're both in that headspace, I think either way, I think, look, we went through a really unique experience that people have to understand. It's not just you dating on the outside. You're doing something really quite intense and quite, you know, just only you and her and the other people that are in there understand what's going on. So it's kind of amplified and like it's deeper in a weird way. So yeah, like, look, mate, like if we're both in that headspace and we both think it's right, and she's in a place, yeah, man. Of course,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
Are you shocked to find out that Huda's mommy?
Yeah, so I found that out when I was watching the episode. She didn't tell anyone. She didn't tell anyone actually in there. I remember actually the day that happened, that conversation, Jeremiah walked back and his like head looked a bit scrambled. And I was like, "You're right, bro. How was that conversation?" He was like, "Oh no, it's cool, bro. It's cool. And I was like, okay, you know, but I didn't know that. And like, no judgment on that or anything, but yeah, I didn't know that. And I didn't know, you know, Austin and Amaya now. Like, so good for him. He's out of the Shelly Ace triangle.
Yeah.
I've been there. You want to get out of it. You don't want to be in there, mate. Like, it feels like a vortex that you can't escape. So good for him. I want to see him grow, man. You know, it's a crazy one.
When you're not falling in love in the villa, like what are you doing? Like what were you doing before you came? Like what is a life like for Charlie? For all the ladies who are gonna DM you, what can they expect you know, your life to be like?
Before I was ever serious about finding someone and dating serious, look, you know, I was on Hinge, I was meeting girls and enjoying being single, you know, being all right, like little flings here and there. And, you know, I don't know if I'll jump back on Hinge though now. I don't know if it'll
Well, now you're famous.
Like, yeah. No, well, I don't know about that, but
they're gonna think you're a catfish. Yeah. What did you do for work?
So I'm a trained so I'm a model, right? But I also in actor model, and that's what I'm gonna continue to do now that I've just got to get back into the real world with it. But you know, throughout my life, like I've never had a girlfriend or a relationship, and it's now that time. I'm like 20, I turn 28 next week, and it's come on, mate, it's about time you start, you know, get into it, man. But yeah, that's me, acting, modeling, did a bit of hosting for on Bond Street for Van Cleef and stuff, and yeah, just trying to do my thing, man.
Do you think there's any chance that you make the move to LA or New York or America? Are you open to something like that?
Dude, 100%, man. I'm all about life experience. Of course, I've modeled in the United Kingdom now. I'd love to go to America. I was actually in Los Angeles for a month back in 2018, working that out. And I think now I've made so many friends, and I'd also, you know, I've done Love Island USA. It would be a bit silly to not go to America and see what's out there. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, like let's continue this journey, man. Let's ride the wave.
A video of you is resurfaced of you singing.
Oh shit. Oh, no. What am I singing?
I don't know the song. You've got long hair.
Yeah.
It's pretty old, it seems.
Has he got a good voice?
Right.
Yeah, you've got a good voice.
On YouTube. Is it the video on YouTube?
I found it on TikTok. I'm sure they found it on YouTube. Yes.
Where I've got a beanie on.
I think you do have a beanie on, yeah.
Yeah, like, so I made a bit of music back in 2000. Yeah, I was like making music and stuff as well. That's just like some rough stuff. But to be honest with you, I've actually got some stuff in the locker that's actually just way more like like I'd be I might, you know, release some music, you know, it's kind of like alternative indie rock, you know what I mean?
All right. Well, now's definitely the time to.
This one.
Got it. Oh
hell
no,
yeah.
that one. Yeah, that was in my cousin. Yeah, that.
How old is that?
I went through a phase, mate. Not gonna lie to you.
Good, man. You got to try some things out. You got to swing and miss. You know, it's all about your at bats, bro.
100%, man. Like, you know, look, I'm a creative guy, and I think I was just like creating some stuff with my cousin, having fun with it. And, you know, you go through phases, and, you know, if I do make stuff, it's gonna be on point.
Before we let you go, Charlie, I know there's a lot of season left in Love Island, but between the couples that exist right now, who do you think has the best chance of ending up together or winning the show? Or do you think that couple doesn't exist yet?
So, yeah, to be honest, bro, I do feel like right now, I feel like that couple doesn't exist yet. But you know what? I'd have to say, just on authenticity of his journey so far, I think I'd love to see where Austin goes, you know, because I do think he's really come into this journey, and he's really had to like play it cool. Like it's not easy being in a couple with a girl and knowing that she's obviously into another person more. And he's really been doing that for like 2 weeks. So now that he's in a couple with another girl who's going to give him some more time, let's see how they grow, because I think it's all about authenticity, man.
And who's someone who you feel like America hasn't really got to see their true self and maybe has like a little loosening up to do and break out of their shell?
America didn't get to see my true self.
Okay, all right. Well, great answer.
What do you mean? They cut me off short, man. They didn't
Justice
get to see
for Charlie.
Yeah, mate, like they didn't get to test me. They didn't get to, do you know what I mean? I wanted my turn to be tested and stuff. But that's my answer, man.
All right. Would you do Love Island UK if they came calling?
My heart's with Love Island US now.
No.
All right. Listen, if they asked, you should still say yes.
Really? Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Mate. I
hear it's a pretty big deal. Listen, you know, make them fight for you. You know, like if Love Island USA wants to send you home early, but they've brought bombshells back before. You never know. Like you're obviously,
UK did.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Rob before he was a star last season in season 6, he was a bombshell, I think, in season 5. So you never know. Clearly, you're a dynamic personality. America loves you. We love you here. We're sad to see you go, man, but we appreciate your time, Charlie. For all the people who want to follow you and support you after your journey, where can they find you on Instagram and TikTok?
Yeah, so at Charlie Georgia on Instagram. My TikTok I haven't really been using, but I will try. I'm
Get
more
on
of an
it.
Instagram
Start
guy,
doing those
TikTok.
dances, bro. All right.
You gotta lock in.
Mate, listen, you've already seen me singing, mate. You don't want to see me dance, yeah?
Yeah, we do. Charlie, appreciate your time, man. Sorry to see you go, but congratulations on a great run, man. It's been great talking to you.
Peace and love, guys. All the best.
Cheers.
Bye, Charlie. Well, we're just trying to live up to the version of us that our dogs, Jeff and Steve, think that we are. They assume that we've got it all together. Meanwhile, we're Googling, can dogs eat watermelon, and realizing we're out of food and we forgot the flea meds. Well, Chewy had both delivered fast. Now they're well-fed and itch-free and still think we got it all under control. Thanks to Chewy.
With over 100,000 products from top pet brands, Chewy makes it easy to find everything from food and treats to beds and toys, all delivered to your door in 1 to 2 days. They also carry supplies for birds, fish, reptiles, and other small pets. To support your pet health, they offer prescription medications, telehealth vet visits, those are crucial, pet insurance, and are expanding in-person vet clinics across the country as temperatures rise. So does the risk of fleas and ticks, even for your indoor pets. These pests can spread through your animals' visits to the groomer or vet, and even hitch a ride in on humans. Yuck. Chewy carries a wide range of vet-recommended flea and tick medications to help protect your pet year-round.
AutoShip lets you schedule reoccurring deliveries of the essentials you use most so you never run out. It's flexible, easy to manage, and can be changed or canceled at any time. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy, and right now you can save $20 off your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/VIALL. That's chewy.com/VIALL to save $20 on your first order and free shipping. Chewy.com/VIALL. Minimum purchase is required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
Hiring shouldn't be a hassle or a drain on your budget. Upwork is the one-stop shop to find, hire, and pay top freelance talent, saving you time and keeping costs in check, all in one place. With more than 2 decades of experience with a simple and ambitious goal to pioneer a better way of working, companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done and find more flexibility in the way they staff key projects and initiatives by accessing a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web design, AI design, admin support, marketing, and more. Posting a job on Upwork is easy with no cost to join. You can register, browse freelance profiles, get help drafting a job post, or even book a consultation.
From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them to take your business to the next level. Upwork makes the entire process easier, simpler, and more affordable with industry low fees. Post a job today and hire tomorrow with Upwork. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com.
Well, as I suspected, just an absolute sweetheart gone too soon.
Justice for Charlie.
Justice for Charlie.
Really.
I did feel like, obviously when he gave her the, like, well, listen, if you don't find someone, just give me a call. And girl's already moved on. Hannah is.
At least Hannah can acknowledge
she
it.
Didn't
Hannah
wear
being
lip
like,
gloss the next day.
well, at least Hannah's like, the body ain't even cold and I'm going on a date. Like, at least she can acknowledge, like, it's not her choice. She's
not even
being
her
sent
fault.
on
What
a
is she
date.
supposed to do? Like, if she wants to leave with Charlie, she should have left with Charlie,
Right. And she did.
Yeah.
I think her and Pepe had a really good conversation of just like, let's go slow. Like, obviously, this was weird. Sorry that I got super emotional. I want you to also have a great experience here. So I don't want to taint that experience just because my connection left.
That's why I honestly, I think, it's fascinating because Huda is so polarizing now. You're now getting there's a defend Huda movement going on online and things like that. But what I appreciate about Huda, she's the star of this season, but she is so her behavior is so toxic that when you get moments from Pepe or anyone on this cast who is
Iris.
nice, and they're just hey man, I just want to move slow and I really understand and I really appreciate you and I just want to check on you. When you just get nice normal behavior, you're just it's so good to see. It's heartwarming. You're just oh my God,
it's a breath of fresh air.
There's still good people with good healthy emotions out there. And it's just the contrast of Huda. She makes you appreciate what is normally just kind of boring television. And you have a visceral reaction to Pepe just being hey, just it's cool, it's chill. And I'm oh, what a great guy, what a good, decent human being. It's wild. She just makes you feel so much every time Huda just opens her mouth.
Did y'all see her? Someone on TikTok found her tattoo on her wrist of her daughter's birthday, and they're send her home to plan her daughter's 5th birthday. Huh?
Oh no.
I would never miss River's birthday. I don't care what the hell I'm doing. You cannot count me in for that. I will not be missing my daughter's birthday. I'm so sorry. So maybe she thought she'd be sent home by then. I don't know. Maybe she was guys, I'll go. I'll be out of there before her birthday.
It's tough because she really thinks the I'm a mom card is her ace in the hole, her absolute and no one gives a fuck. One of my
Natalie,
favorite things online. Do you have that?
Yeah.
I want to give credit to the creator who made that.
What, the mom response
One
ranking?
of the funniest things I've seen online in terms of Love Island content was from
It's Artor whatevs. ARTOR whatevs.
Yeah, so they ranked all of Huda's ranking I'm a mom reactions. They ranked at number 5, all of the women being amazing on the first day when she told them that she's a mom. And then coming in at number 4, or no, they said, I know that's right. When she said I'm a mom. Coming in at number 4 is Sierra going, amazing. After Huda is you're my soul sister. I have to tell you something.
Amazing.
Then at number 3, we have Jeremiah and his reaction, which was what it was. Then we have coming in at, literally, it was just mumbling. Then at number 2, we have Ace. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
My mom also a mom.
I have a mom too.
My mom's a mom too.
I also have a mom.
Coming in at number 1, we have Nick's mommy.
Mamacita. Wait, can I add one more to the list?
Sure.
Austin's Wait, she has a kid?
Yeah. They were like,
That was crazy.
We haven't even, like, that's the thing. We haven't even gotten to Huda finding out that Jeremiah, like,
Anna Landria.
That was really Olandria's fault,
Yeah.
though.
either
Yeah.
way, but you know she's going to blame Jeremiah. The way Huda just makes up shit in her head that she claims Jeremiah said.
Yeah, when she's eavesdropping on these men
You know,
after this
excuse
date.
me, guys, I have to go to the bathroom. Doesn't even attempt to go to the bathroom. I don't know. Maybe that's editing. Who knows? But
Sits
it
on the
seemingly-
stairs and then takes off her shoes to make sure she's being extra quiet and peeks around the corner to listen. And then hears,
The way I had no idea.
she literally hears, I had a good date. Like, it was like, it was cool. She's a cool girl. And like, I'm definitely open to like getting to know her. She takes that, right? You're a bitch. You're a bitch, which that is the most like alarming thing to hear when she screams the like, you're a pussy, you're a bitch.
Pussy ass bitch.
It's so
Yeah.
alarming. She gets back over to those people and like, he's a liar. He said that he was gonna take Iris to try to.
It's basically, she just accused him of like using Iris to strategize to like, win
Yeah.
Love Island. It was like this whole, he didn't even remotely say. Like, I don't even know she got that. He was basically talking about exploring, he was open to exploring something with Iris. And he was talking about like, damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Which I also kind of felt like I related to in 2 episodes ago, where it was like they were sitting here being like, you're coupled up from day one. It's fake. It's phony. I don't buy it. And then he goes on the date with Iris, enjoys it. America's telling him to couple up with her. And then they're mad at him for not comforting Huda for going on the date. Like, the whole thing was just so like, I kind of felt for him in that
Yeah.
moment, because I was just like,
Oh.
he really can't do anything.
But I will
He's getting it
say,
from all angles.
I've dated some Hudas.
I will say, remember, I mean, he really did set this tone for Huda, and I do feel bad for her in that aspect, because Jeremiah has really made her feel. I mean, the first fucking challenge, 10
made
minutes
her
into
feel
the
secure.
episode, he's not kissing anyone else. Like, he's
Right.
showing her,
Right.
like, you are the only person I'm interested in, and like, it's me and you till the end. So of course she's gonna have this like crazy ass reaction. Like, he did set her up for
that's-
failure.
I
That's
agree
not,
with that.
And also like,
but that's not like, I don't think his trying to like commit to one person early on was some sort of like strategy that like justifies this response to her. I do, like, listen, I think Jeremiah and Huda both are clearly giving a lot of immaturity. Like, I don't think Jeremiah is a pussy ass bitch, but I don't think Jeremiah is the man that Ace is. Like, Ace is assured of himself. He knows what he wants. He has conviction. He is not afraid of people disagreeing with him. And Jeremiah is like a people pleaser. He's very self-conscious about what people are thinking, so much so that that's why you see him constantly fucking up. Because it's like either
Mhm.
Jeremiah's worrying about how Huda's going to react, or Jeremiah's worrying about what his boys are thinking of him.
Ace.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ace doesn't
That's
give
so
a fuck
true.
about
Yeah.
any. I mean, I think he wants, but he has that maturity that you're lacking with Jeremiah. But I don't feel like to say Jeremiah set up Huda because he like leaned into that relationship. I don't know.
Leaned into it 10 minutes in. They coupled, they all were making out, and this man
Sure,
would not
yeah.
even kiss Ulissa on her lips.
That definitely a mistake, but I don't think that's. People want to call that like love bombing. Like there are people out there accusing Jeremiah of like love bombing because he focused on Huda. Like, I have no problem. Like, I don't have any problem with these two people like really focusing on each other.
He said she was cute after she like said the most toxic shit to him.
Yeah, they're a toxic
Yeah.
couple for sure. I mean, like, to give both of them grace, like, we've all been them. Like, we've all had a version of this relationship, just like the constant back and forth. To be able to like sling those words at each other, whether someone's calling you a pussy ass bitch or you're calling someone a pussy ass bitch, like, it's crazy that like 30 minutes later, these same two people could be like touching each other's feet in a conversation. But that we've all fucking been there. So like, I think we have to give a little grace. I hate it when like we're watching TV shows like this and people like, is Huda's behavior verbally abusive? Yes. But like, I think if Huda is like this constantly all the time in a relationship, that's an abusive
Well,
relationship.
that's all we've seen of her.
Sure. But a one-off, like a one-off reaction on TV. I think we just need to be careful. Like
she's called him that multiple times. Not a one-off.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. She's abusive.
I do have some empathy for Huda though too, because I mean, she did say at the beginning that like she hasn't dated in 4 years. This is her first time. It's a very weird environment to get back into dating. And I'm like, when you're in this isolated environment and this guy is saying that he's 100% in, like she's looking for like a father for her child. She's not just like looking for like a temporary hookup.
That doesn't.
So I think like I also give.
I get that when
I'm
she
not
tells
excusing her
Ace,
behavior.
Listen, I get that as a mother, she wants to maybe be more intentional with her dating, and maybe she doesn't want to go around. But it's also like, girl, like you went on Love Island.
You're on Love Island,
you know.
Exactly.
And there was someone. There's someone online claiming to be Huda's friend, claiming that Huda never watched the show, and maybe that is true. But I have a very hard time believing that Huda not only didn't watch the show like as a fan prior to it, and like didn't do any research, period. You know, like I didn't watch The Bachelorette before I went on the show, but when I got casted, I watched lots of episodes prior to coming on to know what I was getting myself into.
But also, it's like if she didn't want to like date all these people and do all this stuff, then like she is participating in the challenges. Like she is tonguing down other men and like, you know.
Also, Taylor's been pretty closed off with Alandria, and like look at how Taylor handled the recoupling. He just was like, I'm sad. This sucks. And he just was quiet and he was mature and he let Orlandria do her thing. He didn't get clingy. He didn't get possessive. He didn't get toxic. And what happened? She came right back to him because he showed her like the kind of qualities that you want in a partner when they face adversity. Like all relation, like honeymoon phase, like, yeah, you're hot. We're physically attracted to each other. What is this person going to do when shit gets tough? And Huda is this like, I'm going to turn into a fucking tornado and you better watch out. Like that doesn't make your partner feel safe.
Yeah. I mean, I do think Jeremiah should have comforted her when that happened. Like
for sure.
Definitely should have. The thing that annoys me the most on Love Island is when somebody says like, "Are you going to chat to her tonight?" He said, "I'm going to do it tomorrow." It's like,
what else do you have to do?
Do it tonight.
What else do
Why
you have to do?
Wait until tomorrow? Like, go talk to her.
Totally.
She doesn't want you to wait until tomorrow. And then he does it again when he watches her leave the room and just goes right back to sleep.
Yeah, Jeremiah, he shows a lot of weakness. You know what I'm saying? Like it was ridiculous that he didn't comfort Huda. Like he's like, I just want to be alone with my pillow tonight. It's like, you can't just go and check on her? Like he absolutely should have.
What did he say to Iris when he was just like, the only person I want to talk to is my pillow?
Yeah,
I can't, I'm not in a place to talk right now.
And also like, why is he acting like something happened? I mean, I know something happened. There was a recoupling, but like, what does that mean? Like, again, like Taylor and Alandria, like they were just like, okay, you're with Jalen. We can still like, I can still pull you for a chat and we can still hold hands when I pull you for a chat. Like you don't have to act like it's the end of the fucking world.
I mean, Huda clearly wanted Jeremiah to like go and sleep. He can't sleep in Soul Ties because Ace is in Soul Ties, but she wanted him to go sleep like by the pool on a lawn chair. And the fact that he stayed in the bed with Iris sent her to another level. And like, even when he did it the next night after she had brought it up, it's like, where do you want this man to sleep, babe? Like they're not touching. They're on opposite ends. It's like, just come on. And
well, that's how you know they're just not suited for each other because like she wants something and Jeremiah is not that something. And so it's like at a certain point, just leave it alone.
I think also because remember, like, well, I think they kind of admitted to it, but like Huda and Jeremiah like seemed to have sex the night after Iris showed up, right? Like, the night after the S&M date where like he's making out. I think it was that night they first hooked up. And if you listen to this show, you hear me say it all the time. Men do not fall in love having sex. And it just seemed like Huda was like, that's the night I'm going to lock this shit down. We're going to have some sex. He's going to be mine. She seemingly felt threatened by Iris showing up. And like, again, just a reminder, it's not how guys operate, you know? It's just like emotionally, it doesn't make men feel more connected. I'm not saying, Jeremiah tried to maneuver or anything like that, but like it doesn't make him go, oh, I'm more in love with you the next morning. This is not how guys work,
right.
That's not how it works. And so for all the ladies out there listening, if you're like thinking you're like this, you're losing this guy or he's losing interest, sleeping with him is not going to make him like you more.
whenever Huda ran back lying again, it reminded me of the time that she was like, yeah, I remember he said he wants to like move in with me. And it was like, girl, he never said that. But then she's like, I'm going to go talk to Iris about this date. And she charges upstairs and she sits with her and she's like, so tell me about this date. And Iris is like, oh, we just sat on the beach. Huda, that's my dream date.
It's like he planned it.
No, literally. And it's like Iris was like,
going to the beach.
And we kayaked. Is that also your dream date? Or would you hate kayaking? I don't know if I should tell you that.
Iris is definitely like, fuck, I should have said kayaking. Because she clearly was just like, I'm going to tell her as little as possible.
We just sat on the beach. That's my dream date. He knows that. Like, girl.
Can we talk about, though, how, like, Sierra kind of called her out a little bit in the dressing room where she was like, let's not be calling each other names like that. But watching them all sit there and watch Huda and, like, make fun of her. And then there was a moment where she was, like, posing for them. And they were like, oh, I think she thinks we're, like, looking at her. Mm-hmm. And it was just so mean. I was like,
I kind of disagree. I think it's normal. Like, what are we doing here? We're talking about this behavior. The behavior is so extreme. And also, I think what's more telling is when Huda pulled Iris, the fact that the entire cast, including the men, were basically like, we need to go make sure Iris is okay. Like, I thought that was insane. Like, should we go? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, what do they think Huda's capable of? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy that the entire cast was like worried about if Iris is okay. So I'm just like, I think Huda's behavior is so outrageous. They're clearly intimidated by her. She clearly is reactive. You know, when Sierra and Orlandria were trying to like check her, they're clearly tiptoeing around the conversation. Like Orlandria was like, so like, what are your non-negotiables? They're like trying to like make her see like that some of her behavior is not okay. And then Huda like shut it down. So like, I don't think it's that crazy that a group of people are just like, again, fed up with her behavior. She's cannibalizing everyone's time, all the conversations about her. So for them to like, you know, be talking about it with each other, I don't think is that crazy or that mean. And like, yeah, they changed the conversation. It seemed a little catty when Nick's like, so anyways, like,
what music do you listen to?
You know?
That broke my heart, honestly. I was just like, I just wish maybe they're cutting it. I don't know. But I just like, aside from that comment from Sierra and maybe a couple other little ones, like nobody's really just sitting her down and being like BFFR.
Leia, what about her behavior says that you can sit her down and she will talk to you?
But nobody's tried. I don't know.
Well,
because just
I feel like at the end of the day, women, this is how like some women handle their friends like being upset. And it's a lot of like, girl, fuck him. Like, you're way better than him. You don't deserve that. Exactly. Like, no. And it's not like, let me hold you accountable for the actions that you have done and show you like this was not okay. And I don't think Huda would respond to that very well. So I think they're all just kind of like either not going to say anything or do the Amaya of it all and be like, your tiara's falling, girl. Let's fix your tiara or whatever the fuck she said.
Yeah, I mean, if you're unbothered, if your entire behavior or how you respond to adversity is just very aggressive and very reactive, you don't get to be like, well, why didn't you like hold me accountable? Like, why didn't you check me? If you have to give people space, you have to like allow people to say, hey, I'm okay with you giving me feedback. I'll handle it well. Because it is tough to like check your friend. It is tough to like deliver bad news to someone.
And she also just like runs over to them and just like so aggressively just like complains about Jeremiah. And to the point where it's like, yeah, I probably, unless my friend was like, or am I seeing this different? You know, like if it's like if Huda at any point was like, or am I seeing, like, am I doing something? She hasn't once had any moment of self-reflection. It's all just been like, I've been amazing. I've been great. And he's treated me like shit. And like, now I'm seeing that he's a liar and he never cared about me.
There was a moment right after the America vote where she was like, does America hate me? And all the girls were like, well, you're looking at it wrong. Like maybe they're protecting you. And I think that that's what sent her on the spiral, because then she was like, oh, America's trying to like have my back. America's on my side.
Sure.
And so then she felt more empowered to be like, I am the strong woman in this relationship who's like, I haven't been seeing how I've been mistreated. And now I'm going to like stand up and like walk away because
she definitely took it that way. But like, it was just all the women had to say was that little suggestion, and she ran with it.
Also, when she went to talk to Jeremiah and she was like, America thinks this and America thinks that you do this to me. It was like, girl, don't speak for me.
Yes, I felt like I was at the dinner table with a couple, and they're like, and they're including you in their fight, and you're like, I wasn't there.
Why did not say that at all.
Here?
Don't put words in my mouth.
I felt called out on the couch.
When Ace goes to Jeremiah, do you know how much America is? Like,
because Nick was like, it's not just us, it's also America. Ace is like, do you know how much America is? Also, the way that Huda is treating Iris behind all of the women's back. Obviously, we had the little clip of her talking and being like, she's not a girl's girl, the way that she's moving and like whatever, which is just insane. And then we have like after this recoupling, when she like comes through that wall and she's like, she wanted to hurt Iris. She wanted Iris to feel like shit. Mm-hmm. And she came out of that door and she said, he's not attracted to you. He said, you're not his type. He said that he's just like,
in front of
he
everyone.
didn't care about you. Yeah, it's like.
And first of all he said is, she's not my type. And you know what? That shouldn't be like a dig. You know, it's funny because it's interesting. You see it the opposite way. You know, like people think, oh, I only like brunettes, you know, and things like that. And so it's like when you say, oh, you're definitely his type, as if like there's nothing unique about you, you know, you're just another one of the girls he's like into. And then when you're like not its type, it's supposed to be also a dig. I don't know. Like clearly Iris is a beautiful woman. Like maybe she's not his type, but like, you mean to tell me like Jeremiah can't be attracted to Iris, please, you know, but like, also, like, he didn't say I'm not attracted to her. I don't think he said that. I think he did say she's not my type.
I know he definitely said she's not his type, but I was like, that's also like placating. In the
he was just placating Huda.
No
like it wasn't
exactly.
about Iris. It was about like trying to talk Huda off a ledge. But it's.
And the way that Iris still got up and stood behind Huda would never. I mean, and also like, all those people are fake as fuck. I'm so sorry. Like, I think they were so scared to do that in front of her face. Like, I think if there was.
You don't think it was them trying to give her grace?
The ace of it all really confused me.
Yeah. Do you feel like the ace of it all was because he secretly likes Huda and he wanted her to stay?
I don't.
I mean, you guys know what I think about them, but
it definitely was an eyebrow raise for me because I was like, you've been going hard on this chick for like a week now and their whole relationship since the start. And now you want her to stay because, and that's what I'm saying, like where it's like almost like the toxic or like maybe producing. I just feel like Ace has too many strategies to be on this show. And I just feel like it's like he knows that like the drama that's going to happen of keeping Huda in versus like, you want her gone. You voted her out last.
The thing is,
I think that's more likely.
Like, I just don't understand because it's like if you guys all band together and stand behind Jalen, okay, you can be a little bit afraid for those 30 minutes where she's packing her bags, but like then she's out of the villa. So it's like
not about that. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
okay, but I don't think they're as fake as, I think there's a couple things at play here. One, I think there's definitely a bond when it comes to like the original cast. And like Jalen, as sweet of a man as he is, like
he's
just sweet and like he's lovely, but like Arlandria gave him a shot. He's not, you know, she decided to pick Taylor. That's done. It's like kind of time for him to go. And the group's biggest problem with Huda is just the fact that like it's her and Jeremiah. And Jeremiah clearly was like, this seemed like to be a definitive decision by Jeremiah to be like, all right, I'm done with this. So like the logic could be, hey, we're going to give you another chance, Huda, and maybe they'll bring in a bombshell. But like, now that you are done with Jeremiah and this is over, will you just, this is really her second chance. Like, I don't think anyone is expecting her to take the second chance, but like when next episode airs, is she going to accept that Jeremiah and her are done? And is she going to be open to meeting someone new? And is she going to like look in the mirror, so to speak, and be like, you know what? I lost my shit, but like my friends checked me. Iris was literally a girl's girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I also think there's a lot of pressure, like all the every fucking reality TV show we watch now, it's every woman on there claiming to be a girl's girl, you know? And even Huda is claiming to be a girl's girl when she's just like bashing other women for no reason when she doesn't get her way. So
like, remember the shit she said about Amaya?
Yeah. And now Amaya's like been her best like supporter.
Yeah. So I just don't fault the women. And Sierra started the trend. Like Nick Nick did his thing, and Sarah was probably like, you know what? I'm going to stand behind my girl. You know, I'm going to give her a shot. So that then the rest of the women followed suit. Even Iris did that. And that's just like, no, solidarity with the women. I'm going to give her a shot. And then you saw a preview of Sierra being like, basically saying that was like, I'm giving you a shot. I'm going to give you grace. Let's see what you do with it. So like, I don't think it's fake. I think it's them offering her grace and a legitimate second chance to like correct herself. And let's see what she does. If they do it again, it's fake.
I just hope that Sierra, in that clip that we saw, I hope Huda was in the room when she said that.
She wasn't.
Right, exactly. That's the thing, is that like they're all talking about this toxic relationship behind their backs, but nobody, and then, yeah, they're telling Jeremiah to his face, but nobody's has the courage to tell Huda, like,
I think nobody wants to be at odds with Huda either.
No one embraces confrontation like me. And I honestly don't think someone like Huda,
it wouldn't be worth it.
It's like,
she wouldn't hear you.
Yeah, they want to stay copacetic. They want to be on the same page. And it's like being at odds with her. They don't want that energy. And like, how many times have you had a friend that's in a toxic relationship, and the second that like, you're like, you need to get out, he sucks, they're like, all of a sudden, like, no, he doesn't suck. Why are you trying to break us up?
Yes, no, that has happened to me. That has happened to me before with a friend where I've told them, like, this is not a good relationship for you.
And who gets punished?
But that's the thing, is that it's like, but at least I said it, you know? And then after that, I'm like, okay, you know what? I said what needed to be said, and now you do with that what you will.
But they have. Alandria was like, there's so many red flags. He's love bombing you. Like, maybe, like, they're like, this is a blessing. Don't go back to him. Like, they've all said that. And she
Huda said it will take a miracle for her to forgive Jeremiah. And 20 minutes later, she's putting her feet on his feet.
And then she's throwing a pillow at him and she's saying, fuck you, and getting up and storming out.
Well, then she says, never again, and then puts his name for the door, where it's like, obviously, who else was she going to put? But it's just like, even then, she could have chose no one and been like, I'd rather be single than be with this person. Like, it's just like, there's choices that she could have made. And it seems like they were going to go down this, like, we break up, now we're back together, break up, go back together. And I also like, I get that for the other Islanders too, that it's like after a while you're just like,
it's exhausting.
Shit or get off the pot, because this is my everyday that I'm not even enjoying my connection, because what are we talking about? What is everybody breaking off and or like we're staring at you guys making a scene?
Right, no, you're right. It's like Sierra and Nick are trying to build a connection and all they can talk about is Huda and Jeremiah.
Like, we forgot about all the other connections.
Yeah, and Huda comes, sits down and is like, fuck this guy, fuck this, fuck that. And I'd be like, I'm so tired of hearing.
We're just talking about zoo animals.
Literally.
And Huda's that classic person who, like, I always said, it's the most selfish people who accuse everyone else of being selfish. Because if you're a selfish person in your world, everyone should be thinking about you. And if they're not thinking about you, they're selfish. And everything that Huda does has an angle to it, right? So she's like, I'm doing this for you, Jeremiah. But it's always like, I'm only doing this for you, because she's always clocking how he's going to respond. How is he going to act? She'll get out of bed. She'll want Jeremiah to follow her. And then she will deliver that back as, well, I got up because I wanted to spend more time with you. And it's like, you didn't get up for that. You wanted to see what he would do when you did that. You know, it's always about like testing him.
Everything's a test.
But she is a star. I mean, you know, I also think she's the God bless her.
She's definitely the star. I really, really hope that none of the men in the villa right now are going to go for Huda after all of this. Unless she like really just chills out for a couple of days.
You'll know what the producers think of Huda and whether they want her to stay or not if they bring in someone that could actually match with Huda.
Did y'all see there was someone on TikTok found a moment where when Ace was like yelling at Jeremiah about and it got like a little heated with Ace.
Yeah.
They all like turned and looked, all of them. And then they turned back and Ace stopped fighting. And he kind of like threw his hand up like, man, whatever. It was like the producer had told Ace, like, y'all need to chill. Like, you need to bring it down. There's like a scene of all of them turning and looking. And then it comes back and they're like, all right, man, whatever.
Listen, it's a reality TV show. There are producers. They produce. Like, it happens. So Lynn Reality on TikTok.
Alexa Lynn.
Noticed that it seemingly Jeremiah sprayed his cologne on.
He said that in the episode.
Yeah.
He said, I sprayed.
Oh, okay. Well, she pointed that out. Anyways, that's how I noticed it. So
no, it's a moment that I definitely didn't.
Definitely toxic.
Well, yeah, because Taylor was like, he said, I sprayed cologne on her bed. That's cute, right? And then Taylor was like, that's toxic as hell.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but also Jeremiah having that moment when after they like fought or whatever the morning after, and she's like lifting weights and he's like walking behind her and she's kind of giving him some like nice energy. And he was just like, nonchalant queen. I love that about you or something. And
So
it's just like,
annoying.
are you done with her or are you not?
But again, we've all been in these types of relationships where it's so back and forth. You don't know if you're supposed to stay or go.
But I honestly,
don't know.
I'm going to be for real. I don't give Huda the grace. She's a mom. You can't act like this. You are the mother to a 4-year-old child. Like, you can't act like this anymore. You have to grow up. You have to be an adult. You have to not handle you have to get therapy and get help and work on yourself and not handle situations like this anymore because you have a daughter. You have someone to look after. And I just don't give her the grace of oh, she's just an attachment style. She's just okay, if that's not working for you, you need to go work on it. I just don't give her because she has a kid. I don't give her
it is fascinating that as the mom on the cast, she is acting the most immature is kind of wild.
I'm nervous for her to come out of the villa. I really am. I'm worried for her mental health.
I do think
when
it
she
is
gets
crazy that people go and comment under their personal pages, they don't have their phones. They're not going to see that. They're only going to see
it when they get out.
Yeah, they're only going to see it when they get
Someone
out. So
needs
it's
to disable comments.
But also, again, this is a crazy atmosphere. They are put in an environment where they are poked and prodded and pushed.
For our entertainment.
They all deserve grace, And we also need to show, as much as we are breaking this all down, Huda is the star of this season, and she is making it must-see television. And I am tuned the fuck in this season because of Huda. She might be exhausting at times, but she is the star. I want to give a shout out to Austin and Amaya. I think people wildly underestimated Austin. I also love that Austin was I like Ace. He seems to be right most of the time. He's a funny guy, but Austin was the only guy to point out that some of the rest of the men are just followers of Ace.
Mm-hmm.
Austin, he's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, he's growing on me.
He walks his own path. He's a goofy guy. He's not a follower. I respect the hell out of Austin.
I love when he does yoga.
I love that he went with Amaya.
Yeah.
I think they're cute together. I also really apprappreciate Amaya. She's goofy. She's a little quirky.
I do.
But
She's grown on me a lot.
I think she's legit.
Austin Boston. The way the names she calls these people.
When she goes,
love
so
the way
where are
she
you from? And he
talks.
goes, I'm from Michigan. Oh, so you're American.
She wanted him to say he's from Germany,
I'm digging them
She's really
hard.
funny. I like her.
And again, I think we'll see what happens with Ace and Shelley, but it really just feels a bit performative and a bit kind of forced. They are really cute together. I mean, they really, you feel the palpable chemistry with them, but it just feels like that relationship hasn't started organically, where it feels like Amaya and Austin found each other. You know what I'm saying? I like that Orlandria and Taylor had to break up and recouple and come back together. It feels authentic. It feels like Orlandria really give Jalen a chance and was you know what? You're a country boy, but all you have to say, he's just yeah, we talked while we rubbed.
No, and they were did you get butterflies? And she was I got moths. Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just more
She's
authentic.
funny.
We'll see with Nick and Sierra. It feels like Nick's more for the boys than he is anything else.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the chemistry between him and
Me
Sierra.
either.
But I think just so much has gone on because we did feel the
that might be
chemistry
it.
with the two of them. And now I think just Huda's taken over.
All right, well, we're still going. One more interview to go. Candice King is with us. She's got a new hit show, We Were Liars, streaming now on Amazon Prime. You probably know Candice from Vampire Diaries, but she's rocking it in this new show and is must-see television. If you like a juicy, scandalous rich couple doing scandalous things on a beach, think of Love Island and introduce maybe murder. We'll see. That's what we're talking about with We Were Liars. And we talk all about it and more with Candice.
Wait, before we get to Candice, we have to talk about Huda doing her big one in that outfit. The lace tights, the corseted top. She was I'm going to put on my baddest fit and I'm going to make him want me so bad. That was so, she went all out in that outfit.
You can tell she's all out of sorts because she's pulling outfits preemptively before, that was she was saving an outfit for a special occasion. She's nope, pulling it now.
Yeah. Gotta make them want me.
For her to to walk down in that for 5 minutes and then turn around crying because he pulled out a chair for Iris.
Oh,
And you knew it was coming. You knew it
God.
was coming. Natalie called it.
Jeremiah was like, I'm going to walk Iris off the stairs.
You see Huda lock eyes with that chair and Jeremiah's hand pulling it. And she's like, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. He
I'm
never
out.
pulled a chair out for me.
And honestly, if Jeremiah was still on the fence before that moment, after that chair, he was like, that's crazy behavior.
I love how
That's-
Nick
I
calls him
can't-
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah?
Jeremiah.
Or
Well,
Landria.
that's how Nick pronounces like Jeremy too. Jeremy.
Jeremy. Yeah.
Fuck you guys. I'm from Wisconsin. Candice King, everybody. Finding the perfect car is like dating, where you swipe through a bunch of options. Some look better than they actually are, and you just hope that you don't have to settle for good enough when you deserve something great. With Car Gurus, take the guesswork out of buying a car. Real price analysis, vehicle history, price drop alerts, and the best deals. No bad dates, just good cars. Car Gurus will connect you with the trusted dealerships when you are ready, ensuring a transparent and hassle-free buying process. With over 4 million listings, Car Gurus has more car listings than any other major online automotive marketplace in the US, so you can find the best deal.
Car Gurus gives you the control to shop how you want to shop with the tools, information, and data-driven deal ratings you need. It's no wonder SimilarWeb estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com, cargurus.com.
Oh my God, ZocDoc, one of my favorite no-brainer apps you need to be using. We know how difficult it can be to find a quality doctor at a time when you need them, and that's where ZocDoc comes in. Especially if you're maybe a young new professional in a new city, unfamiliar with your doctors. Probably growing up, you always counted on your parents to let you know, here's our doctor. Well, if you need a new doctor in your new area, ZocDoc has you covered.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, are a good fit for any medical needs you may have, and are highly rated by verified patients. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit. Appointments made through ZocDoc also happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. It's so easy.
So this really is a no-brainer, people. Check out ZocDoc. You will thank us later. Stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/VIALL to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/VIALL, ZocDoc.com/VIALL. Candice, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
We're super excited and congratulations on the new project, We Were Liars.
Thanks.
We watched a little bit of it and it looks very, I'm excited to watch the rest because I just, there's something about a mystery kind of thriller whodunit with a rich kind of out of touch family that it just always really hits, in a way.
Yes, it's that ooh, this lifestyle looks so enticing, but also it's a nightmare. So I don't really want to be there, but also I would love to lay on that beach and drink those cocktails.
Yes.
But they seem really stressed, so maybe not in that environment.
What made you most excited about this project to get into it?
Well, I've heard, We Were Liars was, for anyone that read the book, it has a very big fan base of the book, and it really blew up in 2020 with as the children call it, the book talk trends.
Mm-hmm.
And I've worked with Julie Plec and Karina McKenzie for a very long time. I know them from Vampire Diaries and from the originals. And so when they were kind of chasing after this project to bring it to the screen, I was just sitting there being like, ooh, this would be so wonderful to be a part of. And I was just so excited watching them develop it. And so having the chance to then audition for it and be in it was the cherry on top of the whole process. It's the perfect amount of escapism with the Sinclair family, who's the central family of the story. A psychological thriller of this what happened to Cadence Sinclair,
and what is the big family secret. And also at the heart of it, it's this really beautiful love story of these like two teenagers falling in love for the first time. And just reading the book truly brought up like all these sentimental feelings of like the first crush I had and my first kiss. And I think it's really hard to kind of remember those butterflies as a grumpy old adult sometimes.
Do you remember your first like real kiss?
Yeah, I do. I was in a skating rink, actually.
Oh, with
I
roller
know.
skates
Yes,
on?
yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I know. And Nick, who
I'm
is
a
like,
professional roller skater.
yes,
Are you? Do you
professional.
call yourself that or are you
Yes.
actually?
No, yeah,
he is
self-
self-proclaimed.
self-proclaimed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty good.
Okay. Can you go backwards?
Oh, please. Yeah.
Do you do like the feet in front of the? I can do that move because I just roller skated last week.
Really?
Yeah, we
Love
took the
that.
Girl Scouts out. I'm a Girl Scout troop leader,
Okay.
and we went roller skating the other week.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while. Actually, no, I did it like a couple months ago. So there was
Christmas.
some team outing. Yeah, I
It's
love
good that you're
Yeah.
good at it because I feel like that would be like a very difficult thing. I feel like a grown man on roller skates that doesn't know how to do it that's a rough
I
thing
learned when I
to
was
witness.
4, and I just loved it. And then you just keep it. Yeah, it's in your blood.
Muscle
after a while.
memory.
I don't like doing things I'm not good at.
That's exactly how I feel. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get better at it, actually.
I could get better at trying things I'm not good at. Like I don't fuck with
yes.
karaoke at all because I can't sing. Period. And
But
I
that's
don't, I
the
don't know how to.
perfect
That's
person
what
to
everyone
do
says that, but I
karaoke.
don't know how to have fun and look like an idiot.
Honestly, no one wants to watch karaoke of someone who is like very good at singing because it's like, okay, this is,
Which is
like
why I stopped going to karaoke in LA because everyone
everyone is auditioning.
Well-
should have a music label.
Everyone is good here. Everyone.
Yeah.
Wait, where was your first kiss then?
It was leaving my friend Justin's house.
Shout out
and-
Justin.
Yeah. And it was like my first makeout. I remember being like,
Your first kiss was a first makeout?
yeah, like I mean, like
a
real
real
kiss.
one,
It
real
felt like
one.
an
Yeah,
adult
okay,
kiss,
okay,
not
yeah.
like I remember like this girl named Leslie gave me a butterfly kiss in the first grade, and like I don't know, like whatever. like,
Butterfly.
when you touch
With the
eyelashes.
lashes.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
yeah. It's not
Um,
real.
Whatever. I'm just saying that's what. But like, yeah, my first time using tongue, and I remember sprinting home in like excitement, just like I was a kid just running through the wind, feeling very cool. I was in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
7th grade, 8th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where was yours?
I was on a like family ski trip, and it was like
Fun.
a family friend's son who I'd had a crush on for a couple years, and we had like taken a snowy walk,
Oh, wow.
and it was like snowing. And yeah, I was like a freshman in high school and had braces. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. But it was like the biggest deal. And everything slows down and like the sense memory. But it's funny, even like that's actually one of my favorite moments in the little sense memory of when in Liars, they do like all these close-up shots of like the teens noticing themselves, like the other person, like close up on eyelashes and the
yeah.
toes touching, and you just forget all those little like moments, those big giant
big moments, yeah.
feelings. So yeah, I'm a sucker.
Did you ever
for a
get
love
caught by
story.
parents making out in like high school?
I don't think so. I have no memory of
I did
that.
once. It was really bad.
Where was it?
I was at I went to her house
Ooh.
and she had like a back, her parents like built this like cabin in the back, and we just like made out for a couple hours, and then
Hours.
I don't know.
It feels like hours.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
It was amazing how long you could make out for in high school because you didn't know what else to do. So you just
Yeah.
kept making out.
We didn't have Snapchat.
Yeah, you're like, I think I'm just gonna keep going, And then her parent, like her mom and her like aunt came, and I knew something was up. Like, thankfully, they didn't like walk in on us
But they spotted you through a window.
or something. And then her like dad took me home, and the vibes were just off. And I got a call like the next day from her being like, "Yeah, they saw us, and like I can't hang out with you anymore." And I felt because I always thought I was a pretty good kid. I was a rule follower, and I felt like a really bad person because I was like, someone's parents said they couldn't hang out with me anymore, and I felt like really.
It's crazy. And I'm so scared now that we have a daughter because of the things that I did. And this is like remembering when I was in high school and I lived with my dad, and I would sneak my boyfriend in. He would park like at the Kroger up the street and would walk because we lived in like a gated community. He'd like go under the fence or jump the fence or whatever and would walk to my house. And I remember one time I snuck him in and my dad was like, came out of his room for some reason. And he was like, the way our house was set up, it was like the garage, and you would walk in and there was a stair right when you walked in from the garage, there was a stairwell up to like the office, and then there was the laundry room, and you kept going and it was like the kitchen and whatever. And he had just come in the garage door, and my dad like comes around the corner and he jumps into the stairwell, and my dad's like changing the laundry. And my boyfriend at the time is like standing in the stairwell, like sucking in, hiding like for dear life. And I remember I knew this was happening and I was like, Dad, can you come here for a second? I need to show you something.
That's
like, can
bold.
you? Crazy. And then he would spend the night. Candice,
I
And
would
sneak
never.
out?
and at 4 a.m, he would leave right before like my dad would wake up. But I remember one time we put all of like a bunch of blankets and stuff in like the attic, so that if for some reason like he could go in there to hide. It was the craziest, most diabolical way of thinking. And now I'm like so scared.
See, I didn't have that type of guys. I remember my junior prom, my prom date, and it was the first time my parents let me have like a co-ed sleepover, and all the parents were okay with it. And, you know, she like wanted to sleep in the same bed. And I was like, absolutely not. And then she finally was like, no, we're, you know, and then she fell asleep and I got off and slept on the floor. Cause I was just like, I'm just like, I think I probably had trauma from the time I got caught like a year ago.
The shame. You guys are much cooler than me. I got caught because I wanted, for that boy that I had my first kiss with, we were chatting on AIM. And I would print out our conversations so I could keep them in our like love binder.
No, but that's something, yeah, that was something we all did.
I know.
Like, so
and then,
precious.
but like I left a couple papers in like the family printer, and my parents found them, and I was just like,
They like read them at the dinner table.
They like
It's
read them,
awful.
and I was like, it's just a kiss, Dad. You know.
Was he mad?
No.
They got me back. They pranked me pretty good because he ended up asking me to prom. And it was a big deal because it was like a freshman going with a junior. And my dad, we had like a family printer. And so in the printer had been like left an invitation for like an event for my parents to go to. And it was on the same night as my prom at the same place. And I grabbed the paper and went downstairs and I was like, you guys aren't going. And they're like, what? We're all going to go to prom together? This sounds amazing. And my dad had literally just had like someone sent fax it in.
yeah.
Yes. And it was just a prank. And I had a total meltdown, you know.
Those are fun parents.
They're pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. They keep me giggling.
Do you feel like you have taken some of that as now you're parenting your own children, or have you gone a different route?
No, I think I haven't worked my way up to like pranks quite yet.
Yeah.
But I keep it fun. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's generational, like what we find funny. That was a good one though. It was also a good way to I mean, I reacted so largely at the thought of them going to prom. It was a good way for them to be like, calm down. Like,
well, speaking of being good at singing, you actually started your career as a singer and toured with Miley Cyrus.
I did in a different lifetime.
That's pretty incredible.
Yes.
Do you ever miss it or like wonder if you would have focused more on that career trajectory versus acting, or are you kind of happy with how it played out?
I'm happy. I'm definitely happy. I love what I do. I loved music. It was my whole life. And it's what brought me out to LA and actually what got me started in acting. I got signed to a label when I was 16. And they had actually, told me to maybe start auditioning. This was also the early aughts when everyone was doing a lot of crossovers for reality shows, or, One Tree Hill was a big thing. You'd see a lot of artists on that show. And so they were like, yeah, if you like get on a show, then we'll like, it'll help your record. And I really fell in love with it. I had a bunch of friends who were my age who happened to be working actors on TV shows. So I'd go hang out with them on sets. And I just thought, this is a cool family. Like anytime being on a set felt like a family. And I can attest to that then having the opportunity to be on a show that ran for 8 seasons and the family that became. But yeah, I was like, I'm going to be a pop star, an international pop star. And by the time I had been dropped from the label, I was lucky enough to get a gig as a backup singer. And when I saw even a 14-year-old Miley Cyrus on stage, I was like, oh, that's an international pop star. I get it now. This has been a good run. Like, I got to do my thing. I got to like do a stadium tour. I mean, it was like the biggest selling
awesome.
outdoor. It was awesome. I was 19 years old traveling on a
crazy,
tour bus for a year. I had a fantastic time.
No, that's crazy. Is your 9-year-old a boy or girl?
I have 2 girls.
2 girls.
Mhm.
Okay. Do they know like that
How
you've
cool mom
done?
was?
Yeah, that you've like done some crazy stuff.
Sometimes, they think it like my 9-year-old thinks it's cool now, I think. She started watching Hannah Montana and then watched like the movie, and I'm in the end of the movie for like a minute, like as one of the backup singers, and so she thought that was cool.
Oh,
and then she got to see like there's the Best of Both Worlds tour movie, and I'm like in that as well as myself, which is funny.
Do you have a project in your acting career that you, I mean, not the most proud of, but yeah, like that was the most fun or most memorable, or just like you really enjoyed that project versus another one?
I mean, nothing will top the Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
That's impossible. It's so, in a long running show like that is just, you don't really come across them that often these days. And it was the entirety of my 20s. I got that job when I was 21. I learned so much working on that show, and we weren't bored. We also got to film in Atlanta. So whereas I think a lot of other successful shows during that time were in New York or in LA, there was this like, potential for the stress of going to events and red carpets. And, we were all just, as not even just as a cast, but as a crew, just waiting to end our Friday night so we could all go to like our local favorite wine bar together and hang out. I mean, we were all very close as a crew as well. So, and we were all transplants for the most part. And even a lot of the crew members were in their 20s because the business was just starting up in Atlanta. So personally, it was so fun. Professionally, I really love what I got to do, and the fact that so many people still watch it.
Well, I was going to ask you, because like now that streamers being what they are, like so many kids and younger people are being able to like become fans of shows that have come and gone, and because it's so easy to go back and watch. You must be experiencing like still new people finding Vampire Diaries and watching it and consuming it and falling in love with your character and you for a job that you, I mean, did so many years ago.
Yeah, Caroline Forbes is still very much a part of my life, and it's wild that the fans and viewers just keep getting younger as we all get older.
Yeah.
And we do, now it's like it's kind of fun and cool to do like conventions and Comic-Cons. I think that there's a new culture around like fandom that is actually really cool now, and not just like as this subculture. And so it's not only a fun opportunity for us to meet people that are like finding the show for the first time or who loved watching the show before, but it's a great way for like us to kind of still see each other all the time. The wildest thing is like so much of it that I don't remember. I get asked questions all the time, like someone will be like, what, the Moonstone? I was like, Moonstone? What? I don't remember that part. But eventually I told my 9-year-old that she really wants to watch it.
I was gonna ask you, has she?
No. And I've said this story a few times, but like she really wants to watch it. And I've tried to explain to her, like, well, mommy, it's a little scary, but also like mommy kisses like a lot of boys. And she's like, oh, well, it's not like you're like in your bra and underwear or something. I was like, well, mommy is in her bra and underwear. But I was like, but it's different because I was in the room with a lot of people. I was being paid. And I was like, no, actually, no.
Bad. Sorry.
That's not the lesson here. Mommy's not ready to handle this, so we're not going to watch it yet. So it's off the table. It's
not like you're in bra and underwear.
I'm in it quite often.
Yeah,
like that first season, I just remember was rough on my dad. Yeah, I just remember because my parents didn't understand. My dad's a cardiovascular surgeon. My mom was an environmental engineer for a long time. And so when I told them, like, I got a pilot, they were like, cool, what are you doing for a job? They had no concept of what that meant. And until it was on TV. And my dad was really sweet where he'd be like, yeah, we're making sure the hospital turns all the TVs. Because this was back in the olden days when TV was live. And he would go make sure that all the TVs were turned on to like the CW for ratings to help. But not realizing that like by the second episode, I'm like in a bed in my bra
showing
underwear.
all his patients.
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, Dad, don't, the slow motion and just being like, sorry about that.
I feel like We Were Liars like has a chance to be a really huge show. Just kind of given the, again, a lot of projects like these, especially if they're based off of very successful books. And just again, I don't know, just watching the first episode, I'm like, this is gonna hit. Like this, I don't know. I'm expecting big things. Do you get nervous about stuff, or do you kind of like, do you try to put it away and just let it come out and just see, or do you get a sense of a project and whether it can or can't pop or not?
I really don't know. I mean, I know that obviously this story, like the book We Were Liars, has such a dedicated fandom. And if you've read the book, you know why. And my favorite thing about it is on the back cover, it says, if anyone asks you what this book is about, lie. Because you just like, you don't want it, you can't tell them anything. So I do feel that once if you buy into, like when you buy into this world and you like, even though this family is very difficult to, maybe love all the time, the escapism is really fun. Because the Sinclair family is a tough family. I don't know if I'd necessarily want to join them for a dinner party.
Do you have fun playing characters that are kind of morally flawed and have a dark side?
Yes, it's very fun. It's I know someone asked me what was different about about Caroline Forbes versus Bess Sinclair, and I was like, well, Caroline has, may have the fangs, but Bess Sinclair has a bigger bite. She is quite the bite. And I think even Emily Lockhart, who wrote the book, she wrote a note to me that was like, you played Bess so mean, like in a good way, like beautifully mean. And she's angry, and you see that. And I think there's also something really powerful and beautiful and sexy about an angry woman, because we all are conditioned to or I'll just speak for myself and not all women, but like I have found myself really wanting to get in touch with my anger more in a healthy way, as opposed to like constantly like repressing those feelings, and instead just like welcoming them and making friends with them and trying to use them as a superpower, as opposed to like something I should feel bad about.
Obviously, you've read the book. Obviously, you starred in the series. Do you feel like this is something that people should, if they haven't read the book, read the book first? Or is it kind of like interchangeable where you'll enjoy both separately?
I think you'll enjoy both. Yeah. Something that the writers of the show have talked about is like they almost expanded the book. So there's other characters that you get to know more. Like, for instance, the sisters, like Bess, the character that I play, you get to know her more in the show than you do in the book. But the love story at its core, for the fans of Cadence and Gat, is still very much you see that play out really beautifully in the show, and like the psychological twists and turns. Julie Plec and Karina know how to write cliffhangers. So each episode, it is very bingeable, very, very bingeable.
You were so generously gave us, we always like to ask our guests what they're watching, and you gave us a nice list, and it's a mix of both reality and scripted television.
I try to, which I call like my smart television. Like you got to balance it out, but I'm not very good at it. I just like.
You're more reality TV?
Well, life is stressful, and it just helps me sometimes, to just.
We love it.
I feel like we hear that a lot from actors who actors really enjoy reality TV, because I think a couple reasons. One being like it's all these other people's crazy life problems, and you're just kind of like sitting back and being like, oh, this is so funny and so crazy. And then with scripted, it's kind of like, should I have auditioned for that? Like, why didn't I get that job? Like, why didn't my agents, like, did someone call? Like, why didn't I get this? Like, what's going on? I feel like I could have played that part a little bit better. Do you feel like you kind of relate to that?
I feel like I love scripted television. I think that I'm just like, I watch a lot of that as well. And then by the time I'm in, then for some reason, I always forget which ones, because there's so many mini series now. So when I get asked very quickly, like, what are you watching? it's all those like I do miss like that weekly like episode to look forward to. Like I love those kind of weekly drops. So that's why I really love like the studio right now because that's weekly and God, that's just brilliant.
Our babysitter is in it.
Really?
Yeah, she played the doctor at the table in the last episode, the really short doctor who there was like the two of them. She was the shorter one.
Yeah, she was the shorter.
Oh my
surgeon.
gosh, that's hilarious. That's amazing. Well, she's hilarious. It was a great shout out. But then I love reality TV. And we also, if for anyone that watches a lot of reality TV, you know that they're having to like there is an art to it. So I'm very impressed by those like long running characters.
Have you ever, because we've interviewed some other actors who told us that they've used some reality TV characters as like a character study. And we've heard obviously Mike White talk about White Lotus, who, you know, he is a reality TV star himself on Survivor, and he seems to be a big fan of reality TV. And it seemed like a lot of the most recent season's characters were based off like Southern Charm characters. Have you ever, because obviously some of the more craziest reality TV characters are, you know, there might be some good character studies. Have you ever thought of doing that or done that?
Not
really.
In your
gosh. Oh, bless Lala. For the three sisters, I mean, I would joke around with Mamie and Caitlin, who it's like the three of us play like the three sisters with the three aunts. And I was joking with them that like there's like the dynamic a little bit of like the three Kardashian, like the three older sisters, but they don't watch any of that stuff. And I don't even watch it, but like I feel like I see enough of it on my, you know, I'm in the zeitgeist. So like I pick up on it, but I would like see clips in my like Instagram scrolling and like save them. It's just like the banter and because that's the thing about like I don't have a sister, but when I've seen like friends of mine that the way that they talk with their sisters, sometimes there's just like such a bite to it. It's like they know how to like poke each other's bruises. They know where all the hidden bruises are. So what to someone else might not like be a big deal. Like the other sister that feels that like push into the bruise is just like, how dare you? And that was what was really fun about the dynamic of these three kind of central female adult characters is that like they were willing to just like dig into each other's like bruised spots. And so I don't know. Like not that that's what happens on the Kardashians all the time. I don't know. I don't watch, but like the clips that I've seen.
I think they definitely know how to
pick and poke at each other. Okay, gotcha.
At each other. Yeah.
And you were a fan of White Lotus you watched? Or?
I did. Yeah.
Has that become like the show that every actor kind of hopes to get a chance to be in, or?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just like the where they film is also incredible.
Sure,
I mean, there's obviously something to say about just being on a set and working with people that you really admire but you know, obviously where they go is also incredibly beautiful. And when that's like an added bonus and it's not just like, you know, kind of in the middle of nowhere with like freezing below temperatures, you know what I mean?
A random hotel.
Random like hotel chains, you know, they're being put up in very, very lovely places. So I think that there's like a cachet to that somes really amazing.
I think they stay at the like resort.
It sounds pretty cool. It sounds pretty nice. But yeah, I think that like I just love that a show when I like having something to look forward to every week. I like that routine. I miss it from being a kid. I liked my like, you know, weekly getting excited for like the Dawson's Creek. And then as I got older, like my Thursdays on ABC, like I loved that kind of, you know, weekly thing to look forward to. So
you're loving your weekly of the Valley?
I am. I'm like, what day is it? It's not Tuesday yet.
It's one of my new favorite shows on television.
When it was coming out the first season, I was like, I don't know if I can do that. Because I also lived around the corner from there when I lived in LA. So there was one night like when everyone from Vanderpump was like living in the Valley. And I remember going to like Casa Vega and like everyone was there. And it was the only time I'd ever seen everyone like together. And I was like meeting up with old friends I hadn't seen in a year or two. And I just said, I'm so sorry, but the entire cast of Vanderpump Rules is sitting behind you. And I'm gone.
Focus.
Like
I'm eavesdropping
out for the night. Like I have to see what happens.
My ear is at their table.
We run into Kristen Doty at the dog park.
Very exciting time for her.
I think I just love you know, maybe it's just the season of life that we're in, you know, and I'm just as someone who's been on reality TV, like I think I say this almost every week we watch it, but I'm just kind of sometimes shocked by whether it's Jax Taylor or Jesse now, just like their willingness to say or do some of the terrible things they do, and specifically the Jax and Jesse. It's just like, it's one thing to, I don't know, just be kind of a sloppy dater or something. I don't know. But like some of these guys really demonstrate some really terrible behavior, and talk to women in a way that's like troubling.
Yes.
And I'm just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, and they're also talking like, Michelle and Jesse going through divorce, talking about child. It's like, I'm uncomfortable watching it at the same time. Just like it's real life shit. And it's like, I find myself very engaged watching it just because of the level of topics they get into.
I find that too. I also think it's interesting that, for me, I watched Vanderpump from the very beginning. So I was trying to do the math, is this like 15 years later? So I feel like I watched these, we've all like kind of grown up together in this weird way, as opposed to just like jumping into the show right here and right now. So not that any of it's excused behavior, but it's almost like my brain's been conditioned to like expect it, which I don't know if is necessarily a good thing. But this is also like a weird time in society with social media where it's like, people film themselves crying so that they can like post a thing about it later, and it's just, it's a very like sharing time. And, I'm not going to put there's a lot of people that do it. So I don't know. I'm fascinated by how a lot of these people who are also playing characters and who are working and, entertaining and know their role within the show. Perfect example, Jesse and I'm blanking on her name, Michelle, who are getting divorced and doing this all on TV, knowing that it's going to be around forever and ever and ever. It definitely, I don't know how. That's a very big pill to swallow.
Yeah, it's so funny that you point that out. I feel like there's been so many trends on TikTok or whatever of like showing, a point in your life where you were, sad and whatever. And then now you're like this changed person. And I'm always like, oh, I'd love to participate in that. But I just don't have any videos of me like sitting in my room sobbing. I forgot to press record when those were happening.
Yep.
I feel like I can't participate.
Yeah.
Now I feel left out.
Yeah. I always like when I see those, especially if it's just like someone's having like a breakdown and I'm like, but you stopped and filmed this.
It's a very interesting like anthropological study of like the choices of like what were of like content creation. I don't know how it needs to be studied or what the study even needs to be called, but it's an interesting time right now of like big feelings and sharing the big feelings.
We have a 15-year-old daughter.
15-month-old. She's not 15 years old.
15 months.
I was like, wow, is this breaking news? Whoa.
Like she looks young for her age.
And you mentioned you have a 9-year-old daughter. I mean, we already are talking about how do we engage with social media. I've a lot of younger siblings, some of which are just now into adulthood. And I'm grateful that, we didn't have a kid like 5-6 years ago. I don't think any parent out there understood the potential dangers of social media platforms or the access that the world had to your children. I think a parent
to adults.
And I think we're learning just the impact or the past 5 or 6 years have had on our brain psychology and things like that. But yeah, like how have you started incorporating that? I mean, hell, do you have any advice for us we're a few years away, but like it must, you're kind of getting into that time where I'm guessing your daughter's starting to ask, or maybe you're seeing friends starting to have phones and things like that. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I don't think anyone knows how, this is all pretty new. Again, I think this isn't even just in like a generational thing just for like the young kids. I think that I know I'm still trying to figure out my relationship with my phone and social media. And I know there's a book that everyone's talking about right now that I've also like read a lot of chunks of, not all of entirety, but The Anxious Generation.
Yeah,
and
great.
I think we're all doing our best. There
Yeah.
is not a part of me that needs to judge if a parent has similar age or younger children that wants to get them a cell phone. They're not my kid. It's not, that's not my path. I don't know what's right. I don't think any of us really do. I literally the other day found myself being like, man, it'd be so much fun if I could give like my 9-year-old like a way to like listen to music, but not like be a phone that's accessible to the internet. And I was like, almost like, like an iPod Nano. But they don't, it's like, damn it, we're just reverting back. Like if I could just give her like, a CD like that skips when she's riding her bike, and like
Good old days.
like a little flip phone. Like I don't really know because this is all happening very, very fast.
Jumping back to reality TV and Vanderpump, which character in your 20s did you, if you had to pick, relate to the most?
Oh God.
Could be guy or woman in terms of like personality.
Like I want to say Katie Maloney, but I feel like she was like stood up for herself more than I ever would. I feel like I was like a mix of like Katie and Stassi were like melded together. Like I would always get really like I definitely was that person that was like, it's not about me and my birthday, and then be like, it's my birthday. Yeah. And then also not as needing to, I don't know. Katie she was cool. I wish I had been as cool as her.
Do you get into any of the housewives?
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
Salt Lake City. I mean, you can't what a cast.
Did you
they
watch?
Came out
what
swinging.
About Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
Of course, I watched that. Of course, I did.
You're
For
gonna,
season 2.
You're gonna blow your mind for season 2.
I can't even prepare for season 2. Like I know.
Well, by the time this comes out, it'll have been out. But
did you get to watch a few episodes?
Nick hosted the reunion.
Oh my God.
For Hulu.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Weekend.
Is it crazy?
It's awesome.
This
is me at the reunion.
I just also like there's nothing better than a first season of reality TV because everyone's fresh, no one really knows what they're doing,
but everyone's trying
like
to get a second season,
getting their
so they're like,
yes,
we gotta like
it's
really
erratic. It is like
it's good.
I love a hot mic moment. Like it's just so.
These women are fighting for their lives.
Man,
and there's something about because you're right. Salt Lake is my favorite housewives.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about, and I grew up very Catholic. It's fine. I had a good experience with it, but I relate to Mormons and a lot of like with the shame that comes from religion and the guilt. But there is something about Mormons, like they I don't know. Like I was asking some of the women, and the producers of the show, and they were just like they can't lie, and so when you ask them what they think about the other person, they're just like
putting it all out there.
They're just putting it out there because like they have to be honest.
And bless them for that.
And bless them, truly. And
I think it's also the sugar content and whatever sodas. Like those sodas stress me out.
They're crazy.
Like that, watching them drink those 40-ounce sodas is the most stressful thing I've ever seen.
With coffee creamer in it.
Oh my God.
We went to a Hulu event and they were like, do you want some of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives drink? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I watched them mix a Dr. Pepper and a Coke and then pour vanilla coffee creamer in it. And I was like, I, the person who loves Coffee Mate vanilla coffee creamer, is scared to take a sip.
Yes. And rightfully so.
And rightfully so. Speaking of reality TV, did you know that your co-star Emily's mom, Barbara Allen, is dating Kelsey Anderson's dad, Mark?
Kelsey Anderson
won
The Bachelor. And her dad was on The Golden Bachelor.
And now he's dating Emily's mom.
Wow.
How crazy.
That is wild.
You're very close to
You're very
reality
close.
star.
You always got to keep it a degree away. Yeah. Like you always have to.
Do you have a favorite Salt Lake City housewife?
Heather Gay. I love Heather Gay. I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. I have had the opportunity to interview her. I DM her sometimes as if we're dear
Besties,
friends.
Yeah.
And I find myself, I do that sometimes with.
I really like Heather. Here's my Heather Gay take, and let me know if you agree.
I'm a ride or die, so I can't.
She disagrees already. So if you want to go ahead, but she disagrees.
I think she's not living up to her full potential. Because I think sometimes she's already getting mad at me.
Yeah, no. She's a single mom who works too hard.
No,
who loves her kids and never stops.
Very
she's
true.
a survivor.
She is.
I think she's willing to be number 2 when she could be number 1. I think if she stopped worrying about what Lisa Barlow or any other housewives thought of her, I think she could be Queen Bee. And I think she sometimes is like too much willing to like agree with Lisa or agree with you know,
Give it to him, Candice.
when it was Jen Shaw, like,
Lay it
why
out.
is she defending? I think she could be the true leader of this pact if she wanted to be.
But that's the thing. Does she want to be? And she
Mm.
also gave us receipts, proof,
She did.
timeline. That was like quoted. Wasn't it like some congressional hearing like that? Like
Oh,
it
it's
was
been
a
all over.
moment.
No, she's
It
great.
was.
She was
She
number
has
one.
stamped herself as like that is an iconic moment.
Yeah.
And so I do think that she has taken the place of number one. And then like I think life happens, and sometimes like, do you want to be number one? Because then everyone's gunning for you.
It's true. Heather's smart because she's like, I want to be number one today, and tomorrow I'll be 4. I don't give a fuck.
Long game.
She's playing the long game.
I'm just ready
long
for the
game.
Heather Gay season where it's all about her.
where everyone's fighting to
and she
be her
takes
friend.
yes.
I would love that. I mean, I'm always rooting for.
All right. Well, before we let you go, we created a fun game in the spirit of We Were Liars and your fandom of the Valley. We came up with a 2 truths and a lie game for Valley characters.
Okay.
Sierra, do you want to run this ship?
I think I understand the rules. You know those people that go to play a game and they're like, you explain the rules, and then everything just sounds
That's
like
my
That's Natalie's
biggest
pet peeve.
pet peeve.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do
I
this.
can't
Like
do
how to
I
explain
can't
a
do
board game,
rules.
and it's just like, all right, well, then if that happens, then you have to
Yep.
go back to.
I have to start playing.
Yes.
I
just
have
let's
to like play and lose a little bit.
Exactly. Take it away, Sierra.
I was like, I think I got this simply. I'm going to give you 3 statements. 2 are true, 1 is a lie on various Valley characters.
And we have to figure out which one is the lie.
Are we all
Correct?
playing
Which one is-
together?
Yeah, we're all
or we're
playing
all on the
together.
same
Yes,
team?
we're all on
okay.
the same team.
2 truths and a lie. Did Jax Taylor commit a felony in Hawaii? Did Jax Taylor work in Tampa on a hockey team's social media? Or does Jax Taylor own a sports bar in Studio City? Which one is a lie?
Well, the Hawaii, the sunglasses. And then what was the hockey thing was a storyline for a while. But the thing
But
is,
he does own.
does he own it? I don't think he
own.
allegedly. I'm just going to put the word allegedly in front of everything. I don't know. Allegedly doesn't own it. Isn't he just putting his name on part of it?
It was the worked in Tampa on a hockey team's
What
social
was the
media.
storyline around
I could have sworn there was a time. Who had the hockey team? Was that
He did have a storyline around it. That's why I was like, a real fan will know this. He told Brittany after the whole breakup or whatever that he got a job when they got
After
back together.
Rotten
That he got
Hell?
a job offer in Tampa.
that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in Tampa, and that he was going to do the social media for a hockey team, and everybody knew it was bullshit.
But I knew that
You're
that was
good.
a real story.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah,
this is
you're
embarrassing.
good.
This is where I
No,
get
that was
embarrassed,
good.
guys.
No, that
You know,
was good.
my team makes a tough game. They really put in the work and trip us up.
You could be like, who's the Secretary of Treasury? Like, and I'd be like, I don't know. But the Tampa hockey storyline, yeah, it's just right there, living rent free.
All right, we've got Brittany Cartwright. Brittany Cartwright got married in a castle. Brittany Cartwright used to work at Hooters. Brittany Cartwright competed in figure skating.
Competed in figure skating. They got married in a castle in Kentucky, and she did work at Hooters. That's how they met.
True
There
fan
we
right there. She
go.
didn't even hesitate.
This is so
Actually,
embarrassing.
no.
I'm like,
See,
oh God.
I the figure skating. I'm like, I could see Brittany doing that.
Yeah, they got married in a castle in Kentucky.
Kristen Doty has Zen Energy now. Kristen Doty owns her own line of crystals. Kristen Doty is engaged and about to have her first baby.
She's engaged and about to have her first baby. But you said she's Zen?
Yeah,
Has
she
Zen energy.
now.
Has Zen energy. She's been saying that a lot on the show. I don't think she has a t-shirt line. I don't know if she has a crystal line.
Nailed
Ding,
it.
ding. That is the lie.
It's so funny because I feel like whenever we do play these games with our guests, like we're always like, oh, they'll crush. And then it's sometimes kind of like, oh, it's all right. Like you did the best you could.
I feel like you're
And,
crushing
you're
it and like
crushing.
like you're competing with like I don't want people to know how much I know about the show, but I'm highly competitive and I want to get this right.
I mean, I remember where I was when Scandival hit. I was on an airplane and I had the Wi-Fi and it like popped up and we were like stuck doing loops because we couldn't land. And I couldn't call or text. And I just literally looked over to the woman next to me because I gasped. And she was like, is everyone okay? I was like, no. I was like, do you watch
No one is
Vanderpump Rules?
okay.
And she was like, no. She goes, so where are you flying? I was like, I can't talk to you right
Yeah,
now.
this
Like,
is
I don't think you
crazy.
understand what has happened.
The world is in.
This is a big deal. And I need you to just not engage in conversation with me Took me a whole 2 hours to find someone that had watched that show.
Scandival is what got me into Bravo, period.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like flirting with it. I'd watched a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah.
I just got into Salt Lake City, but was like kind of casually watching. And then Scandival really pulled me in. And then I really.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember watching Vanderpump Rules when it premiered. God, please keep going. We could fast forward through this.
My audience is going to love you.
No,
I love you for this. We've made an entire career out of being obsessed with reality TV.
I know. I like script. I love scripted TV too. I just want to say that. But this is my sweet spot. This is like this is my thing. I love it.
It's our thing too. Go ahead, Zach Wickham.
All right, Zach Wickham worked as a personal assistant. Zach Wickham is an avid baseball player. Zach Wickham grew up with Brittany in Kentucky.
So, because he's more, I don't know him from like Vanderpump really. I feel like he might have been I don't think he's not a baseball player now. He was an assistant. Is the baseball player the lie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't, Kentucky, I feel like everyone plays like
baseball.
Well,
I take this very seriously.
After messing up Jax Taylor, you're really on a roll.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to keep them coming. Let's go. You want to put some money on it?
Yeah.
10. Let's go. Janet Caperna was previously in the background of Vanderpump Rules.
Mm-hmm.
Janet Caperna's second marriage to Jason, like Jason is her second marriage. Janet Caperna was on a dating show before meeting Jason.
I feel like she was in the background of Vanderpump Rules, so she wasn't on a dating show. Because this is also her second marriage.
Ding, 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 ding.
All right.
Because she talked about it when she brought out like the plates, and she was like, "This was from my." Okay, it's not a big deal. Just fact checking if anyone needs any fact checks.
This is our last one.
Oh,
Jasmine Good was a contestant on Nick Viall's season of The Bachelor, was formerly a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, has never traveled outside of the U.S.
This is even worse because I should know this answer.
But she's relatively newer to Bravo.
I know.
I think she's gonna have a breakout season at the end. I think by the time this comes out.
Rough start. Jasmine.
Was she on my season of The Bachelor?
No. I'm gonna say no. That's the lie. Was she? Was she on it?
She choked.
Choked me.
What? Wow.
And then in that moment, I was like, "You're made for Bravo."
Yeah.
Get
that's
out.
very true.
You're not ABC.
This is not ABC type of
true.
behavior.
No. This is the B behavior, not the A. Yeah, it's the Bravo behavior. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel pretty good. What
Yeah,
was
you
that?
crushed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed 2. And the first one, the technical foul on that because that was still a storyline.
That was a cheap trick by the team.
That was a tough one to kick off this game
It
with.
was a trick question.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yes, but
Candice, this has been so much fun. Please come back again if you just want to talk about reality TV or promote another project. But very excited about We Were Liars.
Thank
Congratulations
you.
on being another part of what I think is going to be an absolute smash. And just thanks for coming by. It's been so fun chatting with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where
guys
can
so
people
much.
follow you? Can you have anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, no, you can hang out with me on Instagram at Candice King. TikTok, I don't know. I'm on there sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so excited for the show to come out. It was made with like a lot of love and a lot of fun.
It's on Amazon
And
Prime,
It's
right?
on Amazon Prime, June 18th. So happy binging, everyone.
All
This has
right.
been so fun.
So much fun.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you for listening. Thank you to our guests, Charlie and Candice King. If you haven't checked out the Going Deeper episode with Tyler Cameron and his new girlfriend, Tate Madden, it's an episode you definitely do not want to miss, so check it out. More to break down on Tuesday's Reality Recap. Don't forget to check out our Ask Nick episodes on Monday, especially if you're looking for some solid relationship advice. Check out our Ask Nick episodes. You might learn a thing or two. Those are every Monday. We'll see you guys all next week. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.